football coaches in the country. Meanwhile, in the NBA, Charlotte Hornets star LaMelo Ball will miss the rest of the season as he undergoes 2 minor procedures to address right ankle and wrist issues, that according to ESPN's reports today.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Welcome, everybody. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com. We are live at Edgar's Cantina, as we will be every Friday home game, and it kicks off today on the heels of a tremendous win, which we will discuss coming up. Also coming up in the show, we got the Cal Raleigh press conference happening at 3:30, so we'll turn you over to that once Cal steps up to the mic. Our buddy Ryan Divish of the Seattle Times will join us at 4 p.m. We're hoping to catch up with a Mariner player. Not entirely sure who that's going to be at this point, but we'll hopefully catch up with a player during the show. And then at 5:15, we've got Mean Text. So start getting creative at 866-979-3776, powered by Mac and Jack's Brewing Company.
It's going to be a rough week as far as mean texts go.
You think so?
I gave him lots of material this week.
Well, we just gave him more material here moments ago.
Yes, we did.
For those of you on social media, may have seen the picture of Dave and I modeling the Hello Kitty bucket hats. Where'd that other one go? Did it fall down?
I had to procure it.
Oh, yeah. You don't want anybody stealing
Well, you
that.
could.
Okay, we'll put it back up
Leave
there.
it
for
up
display.
there, Lefko. There's nobody here but us.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. Do you want it on?
You talk about paranoid.
I know.
Holy
I
smokes,
had to
Mike.
procure it.
I thought Dave was going to take it home. You know?
Yeah, for those of you watching on the stream, you now see 2 prominently displayed Mariner bucket hats that are Hello Kitty themed, and they're sitting on top of a very bright yellow Randy Arozarena hoodie. So these are the giveaways. What, tonight is the hoodie, tomorrow is the Hello Kitty bucket hat going on here at T-Mobile. But Dave and I, we modeled them, I thought, very well. We were both doing the Randy Arozarena, cross arm pose, stern look on our face, and I think we pulled it off, frankly. I think it looks great.
I thought, the dumber the look on Matt's face when he sees something like this, the better it is. So there's a tease for you. Check that out.
So you can go to our, is it up on our page?
Yeah, it's on our Twitter page.
At Wyman and Bob on Twitter, and I'll retweet it at Bob Stelton on Twitter, and I'm sure the station will have some fun with it. And I'm sure you guys will have fun with it, because I don't know what you could really say. I mean, I think, again, Dave and I just nailed it.
I can't believe
fantastic.
You are optimistic, though, that they'll be creative, our texters.
Ooh.
I don't think they're bright enough to be creative.
Good. Lefko's throwing hands already.
He comes out swinging on Fridays, I tell you what. He's not playing around. He's trying to get these people agitated. So, yeah, if you're on social media, check it out. At Wyman and Bob on Twitter, at Bob Stelton on Twitter. Dave and I just crushing the new look with the Hello Kitty bucket hats. And I was trying to hold up that Arozarena thing. I didn't want to take off my hoodie, my jacket to put that thing on, so I'm holding it. Anyway, we'll move on from that. What a night. What a night. How about that for an opener last night where it felt like, oh, boy, here we go. Logan is dealing. He made one mistake, left the yard, but he was just dominant. He was just outstanding. And it's what you wanted. It's what you were hoping for. You wanted to get off on the right foot. And you hear him here at the end of he goes 7 innings and closing it out with a strikeout.
Yeah. Oh, we got sound. There we go.
Logan into the motion. Here's his 3-2. Swung on, cracked right to third base. Backing up, Polanco has it, sets his feet, whips it across in time to get the out. How about Logan Gilbert tonight? He's retired 21 of 23. He goes 1-2-3 again here in the 7th inning. Oh, he's been so good here on opening night.
You like when Gary's emphatic. Oh, he's been so good. And he didn't close it out with strikeout, obviously. Big shot to Polanco, turns the play there, and 8 strikeouts on the night, 7 innings. Took a 111-mile-an-hour ball right off the keister.
Yeah.
And and stayed in the. I got worried because I didn't see it. We were up there talking in the suite and everything, and all of a sudden I saw that Bizzardo was in the bullpen warming up. They put it up on the big board here, now warming up. It was like the fourth inning whenever that happened. Like, oh no, this is not good. But apparently he toughed it out and came back out and just two hits, and he was amazing. And after the game, just talking about how he felt his game went.
It feels good. I mean, first guy, you want to go deep in the game. You want to be, take care of the bullpen as much as you can and try to keep them fresh for the rest of the series. So I'm really happy about that. I always want to go deep in the game and start off on the right foot. And most importantly, I felt like I was attacking hitters and getting ahead. So that's when I feel like I'm doing my job.
One of his last strikeouts, I think, was Langoliers, and they showed, you watch it from behind, mostly from Logan Gilbert's, center field, his view of the game, and then they showed one from the side, and he was so off. Like, not only was he way early with the swing, but also he was just off as far as target goes. So yeah, he just had their heads spinning. I mean, it was so impressive to see. And I don't know, I worried for a second there. I was like, okay, this is what we talk about or we don't want to talk about, is anybody in that starting rotation getting hurt. But luckily the way he responded too, I was like, well, maybe his adrenaline's flowing and everything. So big ups to him for coming right back out, and that wasn't really a problem, and I'm sure he's going to have a bruise, but I'll bet you that thing will be gone in about a week.
Yeah, he's probably feeling it today.
Yeah,
but he was everything you want your opening day starter to be. He went out there, he made the one mistake, it left the yard, but he was outstanding. I mean, he goes deep, 7 innings, 2 total hits, 1 run, 8 strikeouts, no walks. He was fantastic. But I'm sure there were a number of fans that were like me looking at it going, oh boy, is this going to be one of those games again where the starter goes out there and just shoves and the offense comes up with nothing, because they didn't put up a run until the 7th inning. And then you're finally like, okay, now we're in the thick of it. But then Thornton comes out, gives up a home run to the same guy, and you're like, oh boy, all right, this not on opening night. And luckily, Polanco had his best game as a Mariner. That was his best game. I mean, he was outstanding at the plate last night. 3 hits, the go-ahead home run, Rosarena with his home run. Did you like his animation after he hit it, when he hits the ball and he just walks off and slams the bat on the
Rosarena, that was great. Yeah, he's right up there, with as far as anybody around the league, that does that used to be frowned on, right? That would be a guy that would get plunked the next time up. And, he is just very animated, and I loved that. And I think more than anything, the fans love that, but also his teammates, man. It was an intense, man. There was a shot of Logan Gilbert after he delivered one of his pitches where he just he was just screaming, basically. And you saw how intense everybody was. It was really good to see. But yeah, man, Polanco he had a good spring, and we'll see what happens with him at third. He had that one line drive that he caught that was essentially hit right at him. But we haven't really seen him get tested yet.
He did make the one play. I don't know if it was that one we just played where he fielded the ball. He kind of lollipopped it over to first base. There was some arc on that ball, so I'm curious to see how he is when he has to field it and fire it, just turn and fire the ball really quickly. How does that look? But look, he had a tremendous night last night, and you needed him. You needed and two guys we talked about as bounce back candidates. And what does spring meant? Do we know if it matters? We don't know if it matters. Maybe it does to some guys more than others. Great to see Polanco at least start out. I know there's 161 to go, but I think celebrating this one is absolutely warranted, because you had a little drama, you had a tremendous start from your starter, and you're 1-0.
Yeah, and before the 24 season, Polanco was the one guy that everybody was excited about. And like, okay, now we've got somebody, and it just didn't work out for him. His problem always is, you're concerned about his health. But yeah, that was just great seeing him he was on the left side of the plate, I believe.
Yep.
That home run. So,
which was probably, the left knee is the issue that he had. So that's what he's driving off of, is
loading up on that. Yeah.
Left-handed hitter. So yeah, it was good to see. Hopefully we get a little more of that tonight. We'll see more of that. See some of the other guys. I mean, you had 5 total hits. 3 of them came from Polanco.
Yeah.
So the other hits came from Rosarena, obviously, with his home run, which was huge, and then Raleigh had a hit. I thought Ryan Bliss had a nice night. I mean, he was 0 for 2, but he walked twice.
Yeah.
You saw he could be a problem on the base paths.
Yeah.
Had he been able to get that foot down at home, that would have been a huge play. He was hustling. He just, as he slid, that foot came up and never touched the plate. But
that's because... I'm sorry.
A couple nice defensive plays as well.
Yeah.
Just nice debut for him. A guy who had a ton of family here for his debut, his opening day debut, if you will. So that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I wrote down in my notes, smooth. Like he just looked so smooth out at second base, and and then you had the probably maybe the most exciting defensive play was the one that capped the whole thing.
JP Crawford,
with JP making that tag, and he looked really fast, because we kind of joke about JP that he looks like he's running fast. Maybe he's not that fast, but man, he was hustling on that play. So yeah, there was a lot to like, but yeah, I really loved what I saw from Bliss. I wrote down notes and was like, he was in there 3 or 4 times. Do you think he should have? I don't know. I mean, I guess you're always risking much more injury if you're going to go head first. But, yeah, I was like, I wish he'd have gone head first on that one, because you see that a lot of times where the leg will kick up and not hit home plate.
They tend to frown upon head first slides into home.
Yeah.
They generally don't love when you go head first into a catcher. So, because you're looking for broken fingers, broken wrist, all that. So yeah, it was good to see his defense out there. See him get tested. He made a couple nice plays, and just see him on the base paths. Again, it's one game of 162, but what a beautiful way to start, because I think there was some tension. There was some feel. I had some buddies texting me going, "Oh no, is it this again?" 6th inning. I think they had only had 2 hits at that point. They're losing 1-0, and Gilbert's out there just dealing, and nothing's happening offensively. And yeah, I think there was a little "here we go again" happening, and then they pulled it out. They came up with some big clutch moments from 2 guys that we identified as, and Rosa ran into a lesser extent, but certainly Polanco is a guy that you looked at last year and went, that was really disappointing.
Yeah.
And what is he going to bring this year? Well, game 1, he brought it big, and that was cool to see.
What do you think of Robles? I mean, the sac fly that he had, I mean, it looked like that was exactly what he went out there to do. I think he only faced 6 pitches the entire night. So he's a little impetuous there at the plate, but I mean, when he sees it, but that's kind of his game. That's kind of what he does, and I think he wants to get that on record. And then, he's just not a guy probably that's gonna, take a 6 or 7 pitch at bat, but he sure looked like that was, it was on purpose. There was intent on that sac fly that he hit to center field. It was exactly what he wanted.
Yeah, it was good to see some patience up there at the plate in general. I mean, he's not a guy you expect to sit there and work a count, but you saw 7 walks last night. That was good to see for the lineup. They had 7 walks. You had 2 from Bliss. You had Raleigh walked, Rosarena, Cal, Julio. They all worked walks. I liked, they noted it on the broadcast as well with Julio that, the ball that he walked on might have been one he would have chased last year, where he was a little over anxious. He was off balance. He was just swinging out of his shoes. Showed a little patience. He didn't come up with a hit. Cal didn't come up with a hit. Your top 3 didn't. Robles, Rodriguez, and Cal all went over, which okay, but at least they were able to get on base a couple of times, show some patience up there. So all good to see. All great things. It was a great win. They're 1-0. They're undefeated, Dave. It's amazing. So yeah, it was. We'll see what they get going. As this series goes on, do they start finding their rhythm and seeing some of the guys you're counting on coming through? But again, I don't think you can overstate how big it is, especially right out of the gates for guys that really scuffled last year, to have some success.
Yeah, and especially, what you were talking about earlier, that a lot of people were probably thinking, like you said, great pitching performance from our ace, and he is, and you saw why, and why he was the starting pitcher on opening day. And then you get, not much support offensively, but they got it done. And in the meantime, like you mentioned, I was impressed by the 7 walks. And yeah, Julio got one, Cal, Rosarena, Raleigh, and then, for was it Tellez? No, it was our guy Bliss got 2. So that was good to see. Just be patient. Don't panic. We got a couple of innings left here, and they made it work.
Meanwhile, just looking at Polanco's night again, he's 3 hits, including this 2-run home run, the go-ahead 2-run homer.
And the 2-2 to Polanco, swing and a drive deep to straightaway center. Blade going back to the one, he tracked to the wall, leaps up, it's gone. Goodbye, baseball. Jorge Polanco with a 2-run drive unties it. It's the Mariners 4, the A's 2 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Jorge Polanco's first home run of the season, second for the Mariners, and both coming here in the bottom of the 8th. 3 runs are in. The Mariners lead it 4-2. Holy smokes, what an inning and what a return for Jorge Polanco. He gets the trident over there by the Mariners' first base dugout.
Yeah, just pure excitement going on there. And then afterwards, Jorge describing his approach at the plate there.
I stay to the middle, That's what I kind of like. My approach was to the middle, and I found some better, and I feel really good.
He felt really good there. And then more importantly, we were talking about the knee, the left knee, and him hitting from the left side. Here he is just talking about how he felt hitting from the left side.
Way comfortable. It's better. I got a little bit of pressure out of my knee, and it just feels really good. I feel like I can do a lot of more things hitting now.
Do we know exactly what he had going on there? Did they ever? I know baseball's not as clear as football.
I actually thought I can't remember. I think I read what it was. It wasn't anything major.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was like a meniscus cleanup or it wasn't like a torn ACL or anything
right.
like that.
Patellar tendon, it says.
It was torn?
Just says to repair. So I don't know. Maybe the extent of it was not as severe as... Didn't Trey Brown tear it completely and he never really recovered well?
Well,
so.
Jimmy Graham tore his patellar tendon.
Must not have been a tear.
I think that's your the biggest tendon in your body.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean that's
a bad one to hurt.
Yes, it is. So good for him. Hopefully he'll take care of that and they'll give him some rest. But Jorge, just great night. Loved that. And he's got such an intense look about him every time.
He's not overly smiley.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, so great to see him have that night. Just great to see the win, but more importantly, talking about the pitching and what can we expect? Do we hold them to that standard that they set last year? And there were some, not many, but there were some feeling like, well, maybe Castillo should have been the opening day starter, and Logan got the nod. I would think if you were amongst those people feeling that way last night, you're probably thinking, all right, yeah, Dan made the right decision, right? If you can't be honest about that on the heels of that performance, then come on, what's going on there?
Yeah, and it's so awesome to have a guy like Luis Castillo, who is so respected around the league. That's your number 2 guy. So yeah, it's just I just can't wait to watch how this pitching plays out, and just praying for good health for that rotation.
Yeah, Dan Wilson just outlining one aspect of the start that makes Gilbert, in his opinion, such a great pitcher.
Yeah, I mean, that's the mark of a good pitcher, right, is making your adjustments on the fly, and he was able to do that. That's the experience he has. That's what he's learned over the years, and for him to be able to rely on something different, that speaks to his veteran experience, and he just, again, went out and gutted it out and got us where we needed to be.
Yeah, I mean, he went out there, dominated, made Dan look like, our manager made the right call. That was the right move. And I still love how that whole thing went down, that Luis was in the room with him when they told Logan, and that he, by every account, was just more excited than Logan was. And, telling him, hey, say something. And that he was that happy for. I love that. I just love hearing that. Just again, what a class act Luis Castillo is, and we'll get to see him out here tonight, and hopefully he can. That's also what I love about that performance. That it was great and the Mariners won, but they've all talked about being competitive with each other in a good way. One sets a mark and the next guy up wants to try to at least, match that, if not exceed it. So it sets the mark right out of the gates. Luis has got something to aim at coming up tonight. So I love that. I love that it started out that way. All right, let's take two.
Well, Dave, here's your, there's a stat for everything in baseball, including this one. The Mariners PR staff noted last night that the Mariners are 30-19 now all-time on opening day. It's the best opening day record in AL history, so second best in baseball behind the Mets, who did lose last night, but the Mets are 41-23. They have the best opening day win percentage ever.
This one makes sense to me that you would keep track of this, but what was the one I was talking about yesterday?
Oh, the 19 straight left fielders. 19 different left fielders for the Giants, on opening day.
Yeah, I mean, awesome record, really, 30-19, and especially in in this ballpark, which everybody thinks is not a hitter's ballpark, and for good reason. But it was kind of interesting as far as looking at. I guess I didn't really look at. I was watching the game obviously on TV. Did you stay for most of the game?
Yeah. I took off around the 6th.
What'd you say it was? 75% full, maybe?
85-ish, 90.
Yeah,
80?
I think they were probably. We'll talk about that coming up.
93-ish.
I would say they were probably 5,000 or 6,000 short of a sellout.
Yeah.
Well, the last half of the Sweet 16 tips off in a few hours. All chalk last night. You had 4 games in the higher seed one, or the better seed one, all of those games, including Texas Tech. They had a furious comeback win in overtime against Arkansas. So 4 more games tonight, and then we'll have our Final Four set after the Elite Eight this weekend.
Yeah, Lefko was torn last night. He had his eyes permanently fixed on the basketball game. Couldn't have cared less what was going on with the Mariners. He's like, baseball.
Game 1 of 162, basketball.
Who cares?
Are you in it?
Feeling for our boy, C-Raj. Arizona was there in the first half. Duke went on a 6-0 run, and then Arizona never came close.
That's a shame.
See, you know what? I love C-Raj, and I don't know why I picked against him. I picked against you and C-Raj just because I wanted to see your reactions.
You wanted both of them to be miserable?
Yeah, I guess so. And
you picked against Arizona in the first round.
Yeah, I got him knocked out in the first round.
Well.
Yeah.
What are our standings? Do you know?
It's so the 6 unique champions still have the best path. So there was like one person who had Houston and still all 4 Final Four, one who had Auburn, one who had Duke, one who had Florida and Alabama. So the problem is I think you had a team in the Elite Eight out. St. John's, yeah. So there are some people that are still a little in front.
I had St. John's in the Elite Eight.
A full recap coming on Monday.
Okay. I could have just gone crazy and had him as my champ, but I didn't.
Who would do that? What a jackass.
A dunderhead would have been out there going, you know who I think is going to take it all? St. John's, by God. That's what my research tells me.
Hey, they were ranked number 2. It wasn't like out of this world. There's some fodder for our mean text right there. I did pick St. John's.
I just don't know why you didn't go with the motto of our show. Stupidity is the easiest way out. You just, less trying, less research.
By the way, were you joking that all 4 of your Final Four were out? Or was that serious?
I have not looked. I've pretty much.
I haven't looked either because you're all the way at the end.
Yeah.
Look at Lefko. He's just getting such delight out of this.
Yeah. By the way,
I'm not the only one.
Well, Matt, I expect that from him. I expect a little support from you, Lefko.
Look at the 2 of you.
I felt bad. I had St. John's going far. I did want them to win. Felt bad.
You didn't feel bad for Dave. You felt bad for you.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
that's right.
Take 2 is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. There is one portion of the lineup that showed why the success of the season may ultimately rest with them. We'll get into that coming up next as we continue live from Edgar's Cantina at T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
The John Schneider Show.
With Wyman and Bob.
Brought to you by Pizza Hut.
When you guys bring in free agents, then they leave and you don't sign them, probably unique to each one. But is it just something you learn in that conversation that you go, okay?
Yeah, a lot of different reasons. It could be medical, it could be personality, financial, how they're going to be a fit in the building, how much they love football, what kind of worker are they. There's a whole interview process that I don't want to give out, actually.
Hear the rest of this interview on demand at seattlesports.com and on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Hey friends, Stacey Rost here. Who has some of the best deals on new Fords and Isuzus in the Pacific Northwest? Wayscar Ford in Auburn. Who has a large selection of the highest quality used vehicles in the Pacific Northwest? That would also be Wayscar Ford in Auburn. And what dealership promises no games, no gimmicks, and never any pressure to purchase? Yes, that is correct. It's Wayscar Ford in Auburn still. Who's the only Ford dealer in all of Washington to offer a 5-day or 500-mile, no questions asked, 100% money-back return policy? Wayscar Ford in Auburn. They offer free lifetime powertrain warranty on virtually all of their new Fords. Who's the only dealer that will purchase your used car, pay you right up front, and then once they resell your old car, return 50% of the profit to you? Only Wayscar Ford in Auburn. They've given over $750,000 back to customers who have sold them their cars. And finally, what dealership has been family-owned and operated in Auburn for over 103 years? You guessed it, Wayscar Ford in Auburn. Visit them at wayscarford.com.
Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. The best place to watch all your favorite sports. Featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, 6 windows, and 30 kiosks. Be there at emeraldqueen.com. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Meanwhile, at Xfinity. So, influencer life going well?
Oh, yeah. I'm up to 32 followers.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah, posting my tap dancing videos is easier than ever because we engineered Xfinity Internet with 99.99% network reliability.
Plus, Xfinity Mobile with Wi-Fi Power Boost gives you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. But wait, tap dancing? You don't tap dance.
Hey, what I lack in skill, I make up with passion.
Do more of what you love and love how fast you do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. And now through April 21st, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and 1 unlimited mobile line together for $25 a month for 1 year and save $1,000 in your first year over Verizon and AT&T. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Savings compared to Verizon 5G Internet plus 1 unlimited welcome line and AT&T Internet 300 plus 1 unlimited starter SL line. Xfinity Internet required. Actual speeds vary. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, Buc-ee's has you covered with available financing. For oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance, it's Buc-ee's Complete Auto. No appointment necessary and financing's available. Check Buc-ee's.com for the location near you.
The John Schneider Show.
Every Thursday until draft day on Wyman and Bob.
Listen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. or watch the interviews on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your boat, boat wins.
What are you going to do? Take the boat out for a spin or go mail something? Boat wins! Are we cleaning the patio or taking the boat out fishing? Boat wins! Are we skipping that eye exam to go sailing? Boat wins!
Rescheduling eye exams can be a nightmare.
All right, fine. Eye exam, then boat.
Yeah!
With Progressive, you can bundle your boat with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings on your boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states and situations.
Every success you've had began with a great opportunity. Now there's another one. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we provide no-cost digital resources in place of textbooks and most courses. And that's not all. You'll receive your accredited online education at an affordable tuition with a choice from more than 135 degree and certificate programs. With online and hybrid courses, get everything you need to succeed again. Learn more at umgc.edu, certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776, powered by Mac and Jack's Brewing Company. You guys can weigh in on the Mariners last night and the excitement of the opening day win, where you're at with this team, your level of optimism. Nice to see. I would hope, even if you're a pessimist, that you were excited to see guys who struggled last year step up in the first game of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't mean that's what they do every night, but nice to just get off on the right foot for those guys. You know, the only thing that would have been better, it would be if Garver were in the lineup and he came up with a big moment.
Yeah.
Right. Just if we're just talking about the guys who we're looking at going, what are they going to do this year? Are they going to be better? Are they going to be close to what they've been throughout their career? So
yeah, we always joke about, you know, the guy that we talked to had a good night or whatever, but I was really happy with Ryan Bliss. And I wasn't really a guy that I had thought about, obviously, because I said that I thought maybe Dylan Moore would be your everyday second baseman, and instead he's your super utility player. But yeah, I mean, hey, by the way, Lefko's not here right now, and he can't hear the broadcast.
That's right.
I want you to really stick it to him as far as the mean texts go.
Really lay into Lefko.
Yeah.
Let him
when
have
he gets
it.
back here, I'm like, hey, Mike, how you doing, man?
Yeah,
Great show you put together here.
He's making his way over to the Mariners clubhouse to see who we're going to have on the show. So, yeah, he's not here to hear us, Dave, prompting you to just really tear into him and make him feel bad. 866-979-3776, powered by Mac and Jack's Brewing Company. Matt has no objection to that, by the way. He's cackling over there. He likes the idea of that. He likes the idea of tear into Lefko. We got mean text coming up at 5:15, so there you go. Have at it. Meanwhile, just looking at the guys that were hitting behind Cal last night and looking at, you know, what it is they could – Rosarena's the guy, and Greg Amsinger was the guy who came on and said, I don't even worry about him bouncing back. He's – almost a certainty is the way it made it sound. He goes 1 for 3 with a walk, with a home run. Raleigh 1 for 3 scored a run. He had a walk. Obviously, Polanco with 3 hits, the 2-run homer. By the way, let's hear the Rosarena game-tying home run.
Again, the 0-2 on the way to Randy. Swinging a well-hit ball deep to left field. This game is tied. Goodbye, baseball. Off the facing of the upper deck. And in the upper deck in left field. And that was a bullet to left. Randy Rosarena with his first home run of the season. And this game is tied at 2. Holy smokes, what a shot by Randy.
He knew it the second it left his bat.
Gosh.
He just, because you saw him kind of watch for a moment, then look at the dugout and slam the bat down. And then you see he's got that little dance he does before he hits third base.
Yeah, that's right. Because I know the little girl that was the Make-A-Wish girl, she did a little thing like that, I think, in
did she at third?
To Rosarena.
Oh, okay.
I think she did. Anyway, yeah, that was that thing was a no-doubter, and you know you could hear Rick right away. He knew. By the way, how did he slip? Somehow we didn't recognize this is his 50th year of broadcasting.
Riz?
Yeah. Shannon talked about it on the
he's a legend.
on the pregame show. Yeah, but what a great call by Rick there, and just awesome. You love that, and I love spiking the bat. There was a while ago where I was like, I'm not so sure if I like all the celebrations and everything in baseball because baseball's typically frowned on that, but starting to like it.
You like it when it's your guys.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it when it's another, unless it's somebody we don't like a former Astro.
That's right.
Bregman or Altuve, but
yeah, I don't want to see any celebrations for that.
But yeah, that was just right away he knew, and I loved hearing that from Amsinger because he's a really, really good player. We talked about it yesterday, what he went through, all the emotions and everything being traded. I think it sounded like it was a surprise for him, and he was really entrenched with the community, him and his wife both, in Tampa Bay. And so now he's, I think, all settled down, and I'm looking for him to have, a year that, that's all-star worthy.
Yeah, he could be so big for this lineup, so big. So, the more these guys produce, to state the obvious, the more pressure it takes off of Cal and Julio to be the guys to carry everything. And that's true for everybody, for J.P. Crawford and everybody else. But just really getting off on the right foot with Arozarena, Raleigh, Polanco, the big star in this game. And Dan Wilson talking about it after the game and just what a healthy Polanco can do for this team.
Yeah, obviously, a middle-of-the-order bat and a guy that's able to drive in runs and being a switch hitter, it just always, works to your advantage. A guy that can drive some runs in, and we talk about little things a lot with our club, and when you get guys on base, you got to get them in, and tonight he was the guy to get the two big ones in, and that meant the difference in the game. So having him healthy, having him swinging the bat really helps you drive in runs in the middle of that lineup.
Good to see. Can't overstate that, overemphasize it. It does, again, not saying this is who he is for the rest of the year, but just, for the debut, for the anticipation that builds before game one to see, let's unwrap the present. Let's unveil and see what this team looks like for a night that felt like it was going to be, oh boy, here we go again. And for it to end the way that it did was pretty cool to see. I'll savor this one. Hopefully tonight is a repeat, but you're going to lose games along the way here. So I'm going to enjoy this one for a bit.
Yeah, Polanco, this was something I guess wasn't in the front of my mind, that this is, I believe, his 13th year. So for him to come back from that surgery is pretty awesome. Now, we don't want to, it's just one game, like you said, but hopefully they can manage him as far as, sitting him down every once in a while. He could be a DH. The way he's swinging the bat, and but for a guy who has been in the league, I think he's in his early 30s, but he's played a lot of baseball.
Yeah.
So nice to see him back and healthy.
Well, and he's been a guy that you look at as just a solid pro. Like, he's a good player, and I think that's what made last season so disappointing. Is you talked about the optimism that came with his signing initially. Like, oh, okay. Got a nice, just professional hitter, a guy who's going to give you a good plate appearance, a guy you've seen the track record. He just felt like, yeah, he's not a superstar, but he's just a nice, solid player that you're aware of if you're a baseball fan. And last year, you just didn't get anything close to that. That's why it was so disappointing. And maybe after the knee surgery, we see that version that we were hoping to see last year. And at which point, that's all it would have taken to get this team to the playoffs last year. Polanco. Everybody does exactly what they did, but Polanco is just something close to what he's been. And this is not to pick on him, because you could say the same thing about Haniger. You could say the same thing about Garver. But just since we're talking about Polanco, if he's somewhere near what he normally was last year, you go to the playoffs. I mean, you're talking about missing by one game. So, yeah, it's a huge impact for this lineup, and it's for everybody out there. So, I don't know, does it give you any more confidence about the offense? It's one game, I know it's all we've got to go on, but do you look at it and go, I believe in this lineup a little bit more than maybe I did? Or are you still you weren't as skeptical as I am, but how are you feeling about what you saw?
That's a shocker. I mean, look, I'm always kind of I don't know what the word would be, a little bit on the innocent side, I guess, because I'm like, hey, guys, get better. They get better. And, Luke Raleigh, I'm really excited about as well. And I'm trying to remember, did he walk to get on when he was brought home by the home run, or was that when he got a hit? Because he had a hit to.
Yeah, I can't remember which he did before that.
Yeah, I mean, he's done a good job. I'm excited to see what he can bring. But, we just, like we've said, jokingly, but there are so many different ways that, certain players can, improve, even in a slight bit of improvement. And really, make this offense so much better. And
Yeah.
again, they were out of it. It was one game last year.
Text in, Mariner fans. How you feeling? It's one game. We are all keeping it in perspective. But did it do anything to, if you're a skeptic, if you're cynical, if you're unhappy about the offseason, did this do anything to change your mind slightly? Or are you still just holding out that, nope, it's one game and they're going to win games, but ultimately they're going to be what they were last year? How you feeling is the question. 866-979-3776, powered by Mac and Jack's Brewing Company. There's going to be outrage for fans across the NFL if one thing happens this week. I'll tell you what that's all about coming up next with Wyman and Bob, live from Edgar's Cantina at T-Mobile Park at Seattle Sports on 710.
Blue 88 on Brock and Salk.
How does the McDonald-Schneider tandem look like the Carroll-Schneider tandem in terms of figuring out who they want to have play here?
Every day at 7:45.
I think it's a little bit different, Salk, because certainly they both say the same thing. We want guys that love football. But the optics and the lens through which Pete Carroll looks at that and Mike McDonald look at that are different because their wiring is very, very different.
Blue 88, answering 3 football questions as only Brock Heward can.
Did you know that most people wait 6 or 7 years before they buy a new TV? That's a lot of time in front of one TV. So why not get one of the best sets for the next 7 years, like one of the top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony models? Too expensive? What if you could get up to $1,000 trade-in for your old set? Who would do a stupid deal like this? Right now, at Video Only, you can get big bucks for your old set as a trade-in and a hot price on the new models. Don't be sorry. Check out Video Only.
Underestimating the trucking industry is one of the biggest mistakes I see victims and other lawyers make. Trucking companies have an army of lawyers and experts who act quickly after an accident to protect the company. Only an experienced trucking accident lawyer can navigate the complicated federal and state laws to protect your rights. If you or a loved one has been injured in a trucking accident, call Davis Law Group today for a free consultation or get my free book on trucking accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive so you can stop worrying about them and invent new things to worry about, like snakes in your bedroom. Sure, that sounds incredibly irrational, but now that we've mentioned it, you are a little worried. The odds of one snake, let alone snakes plural, are so slim. But you might want to check. Oh, you're not near your bedroom. Guess you'll just have to sit there and worry about it. So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-961-5544. 800-961-5544.
Your favorite Seattle sports show is available anywhere you go through the Seattle Sports app. Brought to you by Fred Hutchinson Cancer Center Proton Therapy. Full shows and interviews, exclusive video and articles from the home of the Seahawks and Mariners.
Every 15 seconds, someone is diagnosed with cancer. If it's happened to you or someone you love, the American Cancer Society can help at every step of the journey. Our programs and services include rides to care, a place to stay closer to treatment, or access to information and day-to-day guidance, all for free. To see how we can help you, visit cancer.org today.
We are Seattle Sports. 7:10 a.m. on your radio. Streaming through the Seattle Sports app. Get new videos, podcasts, and articles on the Seahawks and Mariners from your favorite Seattle sports personalities daily.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed a musty smell in your home? I hope not, because damp smells mean that you could have a crawl space problem. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your crawl space and get to the root cause of the problem. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-611-5252. 800-611-5252. 800-611-5252.
Just Cause Legal knows the value of standing up for what's right. If you've been involved in a car crash, Just Cause Legal is here to fight for you with an aggressive team dedicated to securing the compensation you deserve. Just Cause Legal makes the process as painless as possible. Don't wait. Time is critical. Get the help needed today. Visit justcauselegal.com or call 253-859-8899 and meet your legal lifesavers. Just Cause Legal, fighting for you.
We learn valuable life lessons from our loved ones. Lessons that protect our home and keep us safe, like avoiding pests such as cockroaches that can be attracted to leaking pipes, or mice that are drawn to left-out food. And standing water around your home can be a breeding ground for mosquitoes. Stopping pests that can spread disease is a valuable life lesson to pass down from one generation to the next. Learn how you can have a healthy, pest-free home. Visit pestworld.org. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We continue live from Edgar's Cantina here at T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com. Still to come on the show today, in case you're just tuning in, we'll have the Cal Raleigh press conference for you at 3:30. Ryan Divish of the Seattle Times will be with us at 4 p.m. We'll be catching up with a Mariners player. We're not sure who that is. Lefko's in there, probably annoying the daylights out of him currently, hovering around.
That's what he does.
He just hovers and he's twitchy and anxious, and they're in there going, what can I do for you?
Okay, fine. Just stop talking to me, okay? That's what it's going to look like. By the way, it's Stick It to Lefko Day as far as mean texts go. He's not here.
I think
He's
Matt's a fan of Stick It to Lefko Day. He seems to be enjoying this.
Yeah, that would be funny, though, if they were like, fine, I'll come on your show. Can you please just stop bothering me?
We're over there at Edgar's Cantina.
I think we should live every day like it's Stick It to Lefko Day. I'm going to do my best to do that going forward.
You're going to commit to it?
Exactly.
Matt's going to commit to it.
This you pledge. Huh?
Yeah.
All right.
I got to start writing mean texts.
Yeah, and then mean texts at 5:15, by the way. So Dave's put the directive out there. Tear into Lefko if you'd like to. He came out. He fired the first shot. Lefko just comes out of the gates on Friday just calling people dumb and they're not creative.
Yeah, he did.
Just goes after you. 866-979-3776, powered by Mac and Jack's Brewing Company. Meanwhile, I heard this soundbite earlier today, and it just made me cringe, Dave. It just made me cringe. The NFL owners' meetings begin this Sunday, and they'll talk about different rule proposals and different elements of the game they want to address. Here's Diana Rossini on the Scoop City podcast explaining the increased potential of the Tush Push being banned.
The competition committee is going to be meeting on a lot of different rule proposals. And I'm hearing that the Tush Push is building some momentum. I know we've talked about it here on the show where I said I didn't think that this would probably be the year where I could see change. I feel like it's getting more momentum in terms of those opposed to it than I've ever heard before. Usually it's like everyone's like, nah. There's like those one or two people that sit on it that are against it. But it's catching fire.
But there was only one team that brought it up. It was the Packers. Now all of a sudden everyone wants to ban it because they can't stop it.
The one to scream it doesn't mean you don't. There's some that are probably are sitting there like, I don't want to be the one to raise my hand.
Yeah, they cracked the seal there in Green Bay.
It's so soft. It is so weak. I think it is lame. It's not like the most exciting play in football, but What is the motivation for banning it? What is? I'd love to hear their case. Make your case, Green Bay and every other team that's saying get rid of it. What is it? It's not a safety concern. It's not more dangerous than throwing a ball over the middle to a receiver or just having a running back run straight into a pile, and you see, blown out knees and ligaments all the time with those plays. So what's the impetus for this?
Yeah, I don't know.
We can't stop it. We're not good at running it ourselves, so we want it to be gone.
That's the one thing that's the biggest curiosity to me. I mean, I think the whole thing boils down to knowing the snap count. And there's just that split second that you get a head start before, you get a head start in that situation. But, as far as everybody doing it, I guess, if you played it out that like, okay, everybody sees that it's like a 90% whatever, that it's just going to become something
for Philadelphia.
Yeah, for them. But
Yeah.
like, let's say that everybody else picks up on it. I don't think there's anything magical about it, but they do coach it better. But people are going to find that out and figure that out. So at some point, and then maybe you can run some plays off of that because, we talked about allowing the defense to be able to do the same thing. I used to do that on field goal rush.
Yeah.
Where, and there was a certain name for it, but you just basically just lined up behind, Cortez or whoever's big butt and just
Run right into it?
Yeah, and just shove it, right, across the line.
And that I could get on board with if they said, hey, now defenders are allowed to do exactly that to counter it. Hey, sign me up for that. But just to ban it and say, for no real apparent reason. There's not a safety concern to it. It's not cheating. It's not. It's just right now, the team that's the best at running it they're remarkably effective, and teams can't stop them. And the team that cried the loudest is the one that had a problem stopping it. They couldn't stop them, and they got burned by it.
Yeah, and the thing about it is you can't really practice it late in the season, especially because you don't want to have that kind of contact and everything. So I think it's interesting. I'm definitely on the side that I think you got to stop it. It's very innovative, and that's what I like about it. And then also, it just seemingly it's almost like close to 100% of the time you're going to pick that up. So, and then, the thing is, if you did allow defenders to do the same thing where you're pushing a defensive tackle, then they could run all kinds of stuff off of that.
Yeah.
And it could actually make it because the quarterback sneak's a pretty boring play.
Yeah, and then when they, we sit there and wait for them to measure and unpile everybody and, see where they spot the ball. Yeah, you're right. They could, quarterback dives into the middle. Meanwhile, maybe he's giving it to the running back behind him and he runs off to the side. I mean, yeah, they can get creative. They can find ways to make it exciting. That's not the goal. Goal is obviously to convert, but hey, it could become a more exciting play. I hate that that somebody's kicking and screaming and holding their breath about it because they just don't know how to stop it. Yet there's not outside of that. I don't understand the rationale. I don't.
Well, and I wonder if it does become something where it's a high frequency of injury. Maybe it does. Maybe they've just been lucky so far, but and then teams not knowing how to do it.
That's their fault.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm very much against it, but I'm curious about where it's going to play out because I think some NFL people would probably think, hey, we don't want this looking like a rugby game. Okay, this is we don't want that part of our game, and they're trying to promote flag football and all of that stuff, and without the contact and everything, and so I could see that maybe they would want to take that away, but I'm going to be very curious to see how many teams. If I had a guy like Anthony Bradford, we talk all the time about him and how. Showing you some of the things where like he just like one hand and he'll just knock a guy down, and if you get a guy like that and start substituting him in, and that I think it could be it'd be interesting, but I don't know if anybody's going to pick up on that. I mean, what do you think? How many teams do you think are going to be running that next year?
I mean, we've seen other teams try it.
Yeah,
not as successfully, but seen others try it. I don't know.
But I mean, the coaching technique and all the things that you say and everything, it's going to get out there because we know that almost every year you've got half the coaches, it seems like, are, going to different places.
Yeah, we'll see. I hope it fails. I hope whatever movement is gaining steam here to get it banned. I hope it fails miserably because I just think it's weak. Meanwhile, a win is always a great way to start the season, but it didn't erase all of our concerns. We'll get into some of that coming up next. It's Wyman and Bob live from Edgar's Cantina at T-Mobile Park. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk. Weekdays 6 to 10.
There is no offensive problem in Seattle when Julio is hot. None. All of the offensive problems that the Mariners have had in the last couple of years disappear when Julio's hot.
Yeah, you can put all that pressure on Julio, and it's all about Julio. And if Julio goes, everybody else goes. But we also know every rotation that comes in says, don't let that guy get going. So we will not give him much to hit.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Through March 31st, save double your sales tax from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Plus, enjoy easy zero down, zero payments, and zero interest, same as cash, 12-month financing. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com to save double today.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that HIMSS can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMSS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever. That's 4 lines on unlimited welcome for just $25 a line per month with autopay plus taxes and fees. You'll also get the new iPhone 16 Pro, 4 of them for the entire family when you trade in up to 4 phones from our top brands. That's a new phone for everyone, only on the network you can count on. Verizon. Visit a store today. 20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply for phone offer. See Verizon.com for details.
Who's cutting down the nets this year? Get in on all the tournament action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest upsets to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and, of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Attention tax accountants. The following message is for you. Tax season is here, and if you're an accounting firm, the pressure is on. Long hours and tight deadlines make this time of year a challenge for even the most seasoned tax professionals. But this tax season, Blue Jay has your back. Powered by generative AI, Blue Jay is the preferred partner solution of CPA.com for tax research. Ask a complex tax question, and Blue Jay gives you better tax answers in seconds. Save time, maximize your clients' refunds with high-speed, accurate, and intuitive AI technology. Built with a library of only the most trusted tax resources, updated daily to keep up with changes in tax. For a limited time, save 40% off at BlueJay.com/start now. now. That's BLUE, the letter J.com/start now. Or text BLUE to 511-511. Save 40% by texting BLUE to 511-511. Tax accountants don't leave money on the table. Stress less and text BLUE to 511-511 today. Tax fees may apply.
Stream every Seattle sports show with the Seattle Sports app. Brought to you by Fred Hutchinson Cancer Center Proton Therapy. Get new videos, podcasts, and articles on the Seahawks and Mariners from your favorite Seattle sports personalities daily.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Well, the Patriots making a roster move as they release three-time captain Jawan Bentley after 7 seasons. Their veteran starting linebacker has now exited. Again, he was entering his 8th season with the team. He posted a farewell message on Twitter saying, "New England, thank you for everything. It's been a blessing." Totaled more than 100 tackles in each of the 21, 22, and 23 seasons, setting a career high with 122 in 2022. But he tore his left pectoral muscle in week 2 of last season, missed the rest of the year, and said last weekend at a season ticket member event that he had recently been fully cleared. So we will see what goes on with him moving forward. Meanwhile, Deion Sanders is signed a 5-year, $54 million contract extension with Colorado. It runs through the 2029 season, making him one of the highest-paid coaches in the country.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
We continue live from Edgar's Cantina here at T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710. Mariners coming off a big opening night win. The text line is there for you guys at 866-979-3776, powered by Mac and Jack's Brewing Company. And as I look out on the field, Dave, I forgot about the Friday uniforms we see from the Mariners with the black pants. I still hate the black pants. I don't like them.
Well, you know who else hates the black pants?
The players.
The players, do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we've actually seen guys come out and whether it's sweats or they get the other...
the white pants. Yeah, typically this is actually kind of different. Typically you'd see them out here warming up in the white pants, and then they'd put on these black ones for the game. But,
well, look, the Mariner, PR department and everything, they do a good job. And so maybe we're just out of it, Bob. I mean, there's Hello Kitty bucket hats out here.
Those will go nicely with the City Connect jerseys in black pants.
I think they know something we don't.
Okay.
What do you think?
I don't.
Sitting right here, me, Bob, Matt Nelson, 3 of the most stylish guys you think here in Seattle.
Fashion plates.
The Seattle area.
Yeah.
I know that Matt is like me and that pretty much 80% of my wardrobe is free. Meaning Matt has something that's from the station.
Is that true for you as well, Matt?
Yeah, you get that. You get the Seahawks every year. They give me 3 or 4. I've been doing that for 20-some years.
I'm wearing a station shirt and a station quarter zip right now, so yeah, truly. Yeah. Almost everything is free.
Now, are you like Dave where you're a Costco shopper for your clothes?
I don't have a Costco membership.
Oh,
I just get everything at Target, which I feel like is the single man's Costco for clothes.
All right.
There we go.
So I guess what we determined is we've got a keen eye on fashion.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
I
free and, buy in bulk.
Look, I think the bucket hats will be popular because little kids like it, right? Maybe women like it. And I think, as we were talking about before, guys will wear it ironically.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be it'll be that cool thing, like you and I did in our picture that's out there on social media.
That's funny. I remember that Kyle, he went back because Wazoo played Wisconsin, and he was saying how people were wearing the overalls, coveralls. What do you call that? Where it's like you're out on a ranch working with like
overalls.
Denim. Is it overalls? Is that what they're called? Okay, thank you, Matt. What the hell am I trying to describe? But he said that some people wear it, like you said, ironically, but there was a lot of people there that were wearing them because that's their clothing.
Because they said, I look good.
Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, I don't know if that's the case with the bucket hat, but like I said, the Mariner PR department, they do a good job. They got their finger on the pulse. They know what's what. They know what's happening.
Yeah, well, I have people love free stuff, so I almost think it doesn't matter what it is that they're giving away. People are going to line up to get it.
We were over at were we at Hatback yesterday?
Victory Hall.
Victory Hall, thank you. Yeah. But anyway,
you're cracking you up.
No, I'm just reacting to Matt. Anyway, there were a lot of people there that were there like 2-3 hours early, and they were walking around with bags of all kinds of free stuff. And you're exactly right.
People love it.
People love that stuff.
They love free stuff, and they're giving away free stuff tonight. I believe is the Randy Arozarena hoodie, which is highlighter yellow. You'll see some of that in the picture we took. I was trying to hold it up, but it got in the way of our Randy Arozarena cross arm pose.
Well, I'm sure the one that they gave you is a medium, Bob.
I
right?
didn't even look at how big it is.
What we get here.
Yeah, we usually get the items that were left over from previous giveaways years in the past, and sizes medium and below.
Yes.
So that's usually what we get. But I'm curious, a question for Mariner fans that may have normally gone to an opening day game, but elected not to last night. It was not a sellout last night. The announced attendance was 42,871. If you look at opening day last year, it was 45,337. Back in 23, it was 45,268. In 22, it was 45,023. So, back in 18, it was 47,149. Wow. I don't know if they've added more seats in the meantime, because I think when it's 45, I think they typically call that a sellout. But I saw another tweet saying it was the smallest opening day crowd, second smallest in T-Mobile Park history. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but I'm curious why that is. If you were somebody that would normally otherwise go to opening day, but you elected not to this year, why is that? It could be, it could be just dissatisfaction with the offseason, what they didn't spend. It could be, hey, ticket prices are just way too high now. It could be the weather was terrible. I didn't want to deal with it. The A's are not an exciting team for me. It could have been a combination of all those. I'm just curious from fans that chose not to go. What was the reason you decided not to go?
Yeah, I would say a combination of pretty much all those things. The weather was not good. And so, yeah, you can understand that part of it. But I hadn't thought about the A's. They're going to be more interesting this year because they're actually trying.
I think there's some talent on the team, man. I don't think they're going to be in last.
Severino looks like a really good pitcher, man.
Well, he was one of their big off-season acquisitions.
Yeah. So, I think that might be a little bit of it. But, it just kind of snuck into my mind just because we had so many people texting in and complaining about the lack of activity during the free agency period. And I think that frustration comes ironically from the fact that they're so good at certain things like pitching, starting rotation, man, just incredible. So, but yeah, I would chalk it up to just weather.
You think so?
Yeah. That's what I'm going with.
All right.
You think it's people complaining?
I think some of it was in protest. We saw a lot of people, read a lot of those texts coming in. People saying that I didn't renew my package. I normally get 20 games and I didn't renew it, or I've had season tickets for X amount of years. I chose not to renew. I think there's a certain amount of blowback. I also think that those people will be back in season if this team gets off to a great start, if they look like, hey, man, they've figured something out, they're different than I thought they would be offensively, or whatever your expectations were, if they're trending in the right direction, I think the stadium will fill up. It's just how it goes. But I think there's probably a large part of the group that didn't show up that were doing it out of protest.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a huge number. I mean, they're off by what,
few thousand,
3,000, or so. So I can imagine that, because we always talk about the loudest voices are typically the people that are pissed off about something, or they're
the vocal minority.
Yeah. So
although that minority grew pretty large this offseason, I have to say, we're being honest, that's there was a lot. It wasn't just a few isolated voices.
It wasn't just the fans. It was people that cover baseball around the nation, and when we would talk to them, that was definitely came up.
Yeah,
no question.
Yeah, they were. A lot of people were just like, I can't believe they didn't do more. They didn't do anything. They did, so. We'll see how things go. I'm wondering if how long will it take if they get off to a great, let's say they take 3 or 4 from the A's and they win the next, what is it, Tigers after that, I think, come to town? Yeah, if they take 2 of 3 from Detroit and they get off to a good start, all right, next homestand are we talking about a different story at that point? Or I'm wondering how long people need to see this team trend in the right direction before they go, okay, I'm coming back.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a couple of dramatic games like last night will definitely do the trick, man. That was, you got pretty much, I don't know. I guess if Julio had hit a home run, that would have been pretty damn cool. And, Cal maybe, because he's in the news right now. But, just I think the fact that you got it from Polanco and Arozarena really means a lot. I mean, it's almost like those guys need it more than if Julio or Cal had got up there and hit the walk-off or the game winner or whatever. So I think it's a good sign, because and look, this only one game, we're qualifying this, of course, we understand that, but just that performance by Logan Gilbert was every bit as advertised of what you're going to get. And if you like that kind, I'm starting to come around to it, warm up to, the defensive games and
the pitcher's duel,
things like that. But I've come to really appreciate that, especially since we have such good pitching. But I don't think it's that far off, though.
Yeah,
I don't think it's any kind of sign. I mean, it was in the 30s. Yeah, I would be concerned, but you think it's that? I think it's the weather, and maybe it's a combination of.
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was a combination of all those things for people, and also, I don't know. I threw it in there almost jokingly for Lefko's purposes, but the Kraken were in town last night. I don't know how many fans they're siphoning away from the Mariners with the season that they're having.
Yeah.
But they were in town, so it was another event, obviously happening in Seattle with a home team. So I'm sure. Maybe had they not been in town, there might have been a few people at Climate Pledge that would otherwise be here.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Lefko. He would.
They might have stolen the Canadian contingent. It was Edmonton, so something to be said there. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I didn't really see the crowd size for the Kraken game last night, but I'm sure they had some people in attendance.
Can I tell you something?
Yes.
Forgot they were playing last night.
You?
Yeah.
What?
There was a lot going on. It was opening day. There was NCAA tournament. I was trying to watch basketball, and
he
then
was more concerned with the tournament.
The Kraken. The Kraken are happening.
All that.
Right.
Also,
they're here a couple more games at home this weekend.
See, I'm not the only person that breaks things. Yeah, we just had one of the bar stools go down.
Uh-oh.
I didn't touch it. I didn't touch it.
It just broke.
It just broke. I saw it. It just broke. The other thing I think that was maybe for Lefko, he didn't realize this, that it's Stick It to Lefko Day today. I had to tell him when you left, Mike. I told all the texters. It's Stick It to Lefko.
Oh, okay. I have to catch up. I need to. I'm sure there's a lot then.
Did they
Full
start
disclosure.
doing it?
Uh-oh.
Full disclosure.
Okay. Did they start doing it? I haven't opened the text.
Was
yet.
that to try to get attention off yourself?
Well, that, and I think it would be funny.
That's every week, though, right? It's always Stick It to Lefko.
So what do you have? What do you have for the listeners, the texters?
I got to catch up on all the ones that are probably coming in.
But
so.
just in general.
Do we have any news as to who may be joining us?
I think it's Brian Wu. We're trying to figure out a time because he's doing some treatment, and the Cal Raleigh presser has thrown off some schedules. So we'll figure out a time there, either 4:45 or 5 in that range.
How long do you think Cal will go? He's gonna have a lot of 3-word answers. Last night,
couple minutes.
I told you guys I got home in time to see all the festivities on Root Sports and everything, and they introduced Cal as the Platinum Glove winner, he was like jumping up for joy, and he had a huge. No, he didn't.
No.
He just kind of was like, kind of had a little bit of a scowl and was like, all right, let's get this thing started.
Yeah, he doesn't. His demeanor does not change. He's just sort of
love it,
unaffected. He's just wildly unaffected by anything, which is good. I love it. I love it. So, we'll turn you over to the press conference once Cal gets going here in about 15 minutes. It's scheduled for 3:30, so we'll get that for you as well, and maybe catch up with Brian Wu. We'll see if timing works out on all of that. Meanwhile, some things going on around the world of Major League Baseball. Commissioner Rob Manfred was on with your guy, Chris Russo, and addressed the
Bad Dog?
Yeah, that's right. He's talking to the commissioner about what's going on with baseball, everybody. Explains what
you can get me every time with that imitation, Bob. Every single time.
Didn't I say in the video he was in? I think he was interviewing the commissioner, and he would ask him a question, and he'd always end it with, he'd ask the question, "Well, what's going on with the Astros? Let me hear."
Let me hear.
Let me hear. That's how he would have ended. But Rob Manfred explaining why they weren't thrilled with ESPN's coverage of baseball.
There was a level of dissatisfaction on our part. It started, with the end of baseball tonight. I think if you watch ESPN, and I do, where we appear on SportsCenter in the morning, there were issues.
Hey, I can
about
answer to that better than anybody. We only did one segment today on opening day, Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
So if anybody can mention it, you're talking to me.
Yeah, and look, there was a level of dissatisfaction with that. Having said that, did we want to be partners with him? Yes, but taking less money...
Not going to happen.
And look, I'll say this publicly because I said it to them. They stepped up for the NBA. They stepped up for football, stepped up for this one, and to come back to us and say, we want to cut you.
That's a good point, Rob. So you felt hurt.
Yeah.
How do you not laugh at his voice? I'm sorry. I just almost lose track of what Rob is saying when he chimes in. He's just so distracting the way he speaks. Yeah, you got hurt, huh? Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Baseball, they hurt your feelings. But he was talking about the end of the partnership with ESPN and baseball, and we'll I don't have any doubts baseball's going to find a home, and there will be bidders. Now, my fear, Dave, is they end up on a streaming platform. Mm-hmm. They end up on some sort of cockamamie, Prime. Some games are on Prime Video, and the other games are on that fakakta Apple app, and it's spread out. It's not a one-stop shop. It's going to be piecemeal, and you're going to have to subscribe to these different. It's going to be on YouTube TV. It's going to be on the. I don't want that. I do not want that.
No, I don't either. And if you want to cut the cable or whatever, you have to go and figure out, okay, where am I going to get these games? Where am I going to get these? And every once in a while, I like watching a random baseball game that's not the Mariners. And so, that part of it kind of stinks. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just because we're here in Seattle. I am really excited for baseball. And I'm ready for it to get started here, and I'm really excited. And I don't know if that's some kind of an indication that baseball, the interest is waning. But you're always going to have, like I said before, I've said this before. I feel like for older, you kind of grow into it, And I've said another thing I've said about it is it's a great date. If you want to go to the game, you don't have to be paying attention the entire time. There's a chance to kind of socialize and everything. And I think it's a great sport from that standpoint. And then, and you got some really cool, likable stars right now, like your guy Mookie Betts, and of course Shohei Ohtani, and people are still looking at Mike Trout, and I think he took one off the hand. I know.
First at bat. I think it was the first pitch.
Yeah,
I think. But
yeah, I mean, I don't worry about it, but I do worry about what you're talking about. That all of a sudden you got to go to this app and that app, and then it's awful. But I'll tell you what, as far as studio shows go, I like the NFL Network and everything, and some of the shows that they have on. Maybe it's because I'm a football guy. There's some of it I don't like. MLB Network, I pretty much love everything they do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do a great job with that. So,
well, most of it's because you like Mad Dog on there, right?
No, I don't like Mad Dog. I just like listening to you make fun of it. That's the part.
Well, when he chimed in there, I thought it was you for a second doing your impression. I'm like, what is that? Oh, wait, that's his actual voice, interrupting Manfred.
He sounds like Elmer Fudd. It's just he's got a weird way of speaking, and he's just.
I think Bob could have made a living as a guy that impersonates others.
Just random impressions. Unless you're a sports fan, you're not a sports fan. You're going, I don't know who you're talking about there. I don't know who that is. How many people know who Chris Russo is? But yeah, anyway, it's. We'll see where they land. We'll see where they land, and obviously they didn't appreciate ESPN's lack of attention to their product, which I don't blame them when you're spending billions of dollars on a massive package, or ESPN is. You got a lot on the line. Yeah, you want to be represented, and if you feel like they've gone to the wall for the NFL, which makes sense. Everybody will, because the NFL's king. And baseball's much more regional, to say the least. It's not even a conversation. You're not going to have that kind of return the way you do with the NFL. The NFL translates markets. It goes beyond, transcends is what I should say, transcends markets and goes beyond. Everybody follows everybody in the NFL. We'll talk about the Raiders. We'll talk about Jacksonville if there's news. We have a familiarity with their teams and players on those teams, whereas, it'd be like us out here talking about the Cardinals or the Pirates or, nobody out here cares.
Yeah, no, I mean, a lot of times when, for a typical fan, they'll look at the opposing lineup and it'll be the first time they've read those. Whereas, you're right. I mean, the Buffalo Bills come to town, they have Josh Allen.
Yeah, he's there. You've got a level of, and you don't even have to be a fantasy football player like Dave Wyman to know players on other teams. It's just how it goes in the NFL, and you only have 17 games. So it's so much more suited to everybody being involved and being in the know as opposed to baseball.
You said that in such a condescending fashion.
Well, it's still disappointing to me, Dave, if I'm being honest.
Maybe I won't play this year.
Did you enjoy yourself?
I got fourth, so I got my money back.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Were you in the league together, you and Lefko?
No, I just got some advice from Lefko.
Was it good advice?
That's why I ended up in fourth.
Yeah, otherwise, you would have been in second.
No. He was just telling me, he was giving me some tips and whatnot. So definitely helped.
All right.
Definitely helped.
Thank you. We could be in a league together next year. You, me, Bob, Matt.
No.
Station league. His no echoed across the room as well.
Wait, Matt, this would be a great opportunity for you to pick a bunch of players that really suck. Just like you do.
And have a fun backstory.
Yeah.
The funniest thing would be if he did it and won again, like he did the NFL pool. That would be the joy of having Matt involved with something like that. If he just went into it going, I don't care. I don't know who any of these players are, and I'm going to pick them based on shows I like and food items I like. And then he wins.
Well, maybe the best example is Creighton. He picks Creighton every year because of Creighton Barrel, and he likes Creighton Barrel. Do you have lots of furniture in your home from Creighton Barrel? Yeah. Now we got to get Matt involved.
I work on this show. I can't afford Creighton Barrel.
Oh. He goes to IKEA. It's more. He's more of
and Target.
Yeah, he's more of a DIY guy. He's got to. He's forced into that, financially speaking. So we'll see where baseball ultimately lands in terms of their broadcast rights. But interesting to hear Rob there explaining to Russo that they weren't thrilled about how ESPN handled their coverage. So, again, just not the streaming platforms. Give us a break with that, please. Meanwhile, we did see one note from yesterday. We did see, as we were at the Victory Hall doing our show, we were sitting in front of a giant big screen, and right as I looked up, there's Teoscar Hernandez just walloping a 3-run home run to give them the lead last night.
Yeah,
how about that?
They beat Detroit
Tigers. Yeah.
Yeah, so good. Stick it to Detroit. We don't like them.
Yeah,
because they did a lot of damage to the Mariners last year. But yeah, Teoscar is such an easy guy to like. But and I guess I feel like he became that guy because he's down there in a lineup where he's not the show, right?
Yeah,
I mean, there's no
got
pressure.
A lot of protection in that lineup, man.
There's no pressure on him. So, and yeah, I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, there's a lot around him. So yeah, good for him. All right, coming up, he's here for the foreseeable future, and we're going to take you to Cal Raleigh's press conference. That will be coming your way next as we continue live from Edgar's Cantina here at T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710.
When you're on the pitch clock and don't have time for your favorite Seattle sports shows, listen to the podcasts on demand.
How about that? Unbelievable. Who would have thought?
Every hour, every interview, every look behind the scenes.
Dan Wilson's the new skipper.
This is a window. This is a time where we can get it done, and that's the hope. That's the vision for this club.
Find us on seattlesports.com, the Seattle Sports app, or wherever you get podcasts.
Holy smokes!
Never miss a minute of Seattle sports, the home of the Mariners.
To me, the LJ way is to provide an experience that people really enjoy being a part of. And they enjoy being a part of it because they're getting great service. They're talking with somebody that actually they feel cares about them. They care about what their impression is going to be walking away. It's also understanding you're now part of our family, and thank you for doing the business with us. And this is how we're going to show our appreciation through customer service. We're going to show our appreciation with taking care of you if you ever have an issue. Majority of the people that are coming to see us are within our community. These are people who are providing maybe services that we also use in our community. So the LJ way, to me, somebody can come into a retail setting and not feel like they got to have their guard up. And that's been a long-standing thing in the car business that, we've tried to shake.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Need a new roof now? With State Roofing and Exteriors, you can get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's right. Protect your home now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
Did you know that your windows and doors are your main source of energy loss? At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, our windows with triple weather stripping and gasket seals are up to 25% more efficient than Energy Star standards. LakeWashingtonWindows.com, a name you can trust.
Did you know colon cancer can be detected early or prevented through regular screening?
I have detected Around Earth is the greatest lie ever.
Okay, Roger. My uncle just passed away and I inherited his cockatoo, Roger. He was a member of the Flat Earth Society, so Roger picked up on some of his rhetoric. Anyway, screening, such as a colonoscopy.
Screen these! Screen these!
Roger that, Roger. Moving on. Colonoscopies can detect early-stage colon or rectal cancer or even polyps, which are abnormal growths that can turn into cancer over time.
I'm a Flat Earth walker.
Come on, Roger. What did I do to my uncle to deserve you? You don't get to choose what you inherit, just like colon cancer. Unlike Roger here, I believe in science. And science says that if colon cancer runs in your family, you're more likely to develop it yourself. Talk to your doctor about when you should start screening. Find out more at coloncancercoalition.org. A message from the Colon Cancer Coalition.
These days, figuring out what, where, and how to watch TV is out of control. And so is the cost. That's why I'm psyched I found Philo. Live TV from A&E, Discovery, MTV, and all the channels I love. A huge library of movies and shows, and an unlimited DVR to save them. I also get AMC Plus and all their blockbuster hits. All this for just $28 a month when you sign up at philo.tv. Give it a try, risk-free at philo.tv.
Febreze. It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades. Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
For Down Territory, going inside the game with Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bumpin' Stacy.
Well, the longer days, the sunny breaks in the weather, they've got me dreaming of summer, right? Getting out in the golf course, heading on vacation, or just enjoying our beautiful Northwest region. Make this summer one to remember by looking and feeling your absolute best. You can do it, and if you start right now, you can accomplish that goal before Memorial Day weekend. It's Mike Salk here, and 45 days is all it takes. You can lose almost a pound each day. I lost 35 total with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic, and I'll let you in a little secret. Those 45 days, they're not even that hard. No crazy dieting, no cardio or crazy exercise. Definitely no pills or injections with any kind of potentially scary side effects. None of that. You're eating healthy, delicious meals that you make for yourself and buy at the grocery store, and you watch the pounds absolutely fall off. Find out if you can do it. I know you can. A 15-minute call is all it takes. No obligation. Schedule it right now at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. You got nothing to lose other than like a ton of weight. Go to eastsideweightlossclinic.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, DC. Results may vary.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at amazonbusiness.com.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We continue live from T-Mobile Park here at Edgar's Cantina. If you're coming to the game today, come on by, say hello. We'll be out here taking you up to the pregame show. We're going to throw you to the Cal Raleigh press conference as soon as he steps up to the podium. You guys can text in throughout the show, 866-979-3776. Robbie in Seattle said, guys, your anti-app non-arguments don't make sense. Anti-app non-argument. I'd rather have access to a handful of Mariner games each month on apps I'm already paying for than the need to wholesale, uncut the cord, lock in with Comcast. I already don't get to watch any games as it is. So how is it worse if the broadcast gets split up between 5 apps when most people already pay for an average of 2 or 3 of them? So I guess if you're somebody who doesn't have cable, yeah, you can subscribe to the Mariners $20 a month and get the or $20 for the season, or what is it? What's the cost of that, Lefko, for the Root Sports?
Yeah, it's $20 a month.
20 a month. Yeah, and get every game, which is fine. But if you want to watch any game outside of the Mariners, oftentimes the Mariners are playing at the same time as other games, and I like during a commercial to be able to bounce to another game.
Yeah,
you can't do that on the app.
Can't do that.
That's it. It's not convenient. That's the whole point. This isn't old man stuff. Technology is supposed to make things faster, more efficient, more convenient, and streaming on apps does not.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I agree. But if you're able to do those kinds of things quickly, and maybe that's almost like changing a channel for some of these super high tech people. Yeah. But I'm with you on that one. But the Root Sports one is good. We got Ryan Roland Smith last night and Goldie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's a good broadcast.
Ryan doing this series, and they'll, Angie will be a part of it. Dave Valley will be a part of it. Jay Buhner will be a part of it. So you've got a bunch of people that'll be part of the broadcast. All right, let's wildly gesturing Lefko is telling me that Cal Raleigh is stepping up to the podium. Here he is.
With so much going on, the second game of the season, and after an exciting night, this is, I guess, a cool thing. I'd like to thank the Raleigh family for being able to get here and celebrate this event. Thank the team, especially the pitchers, for coming in, paying homage to your guy. And I'd like to thank Casey Close and Brett Knief. They're over here from Excel Sports Management, who did a wonderful job in working through this over the last 2 months with Justin and really putting together a deal that I think works for everyone. And obviously thank Cal for his belief in the Mariners, both present and future. And with that, I will kick it to Cal. And if you've got anything you'd like to add, or we can just go to questions.
No, I just want to thank everybody for being here today, my family especially. I know it's kind of awkward with opening day and with the timeline, so thank you guys for being patient, and thank you, Brett and Casey, for being here as well. And yeah, I'm really excited, obviously. I guess opening statement, really excited, very proud to be a Mariner for a long time, and really looking forward to it and representing the city the right way.
Questions for Cal? Jen?
What's it like to have basically your old team here, your pitching coaches and everybody to be here for this moment for you?
It's really special. These guys mean a lot to me. A lot of these guys I've came up with and have unfortunately had a room with some of them. No, I'm kidding. But, these guys mean a lot to me, and very special to see these guys and coaches as well that I've kind of came up with as well. And it's just special. It's special when you have those relationships, and makes it even better when I know I'm going to be here a lot longer and share a lot of memories with these guys.
Cal, you've taken your job very seriously over the years, but does this contract add another layer of responsibility or leadership to you?
I do believe so. I'm very grateful that, Mr. Stanton and these guys here at the table have given me this responsibility to come here and want me to lead this team and want me to kind of be the guy to take the reins and somebody who can, help this team get to the playoffs and win a World Series. And I think that's the way I'm looking at it. And nothing's going to change in the sense of how I prepare or what the goal is, but it just feels really good, that these guys believe in me and believe in what we're doing here.
Nico, then Ryan.
Similar to what you just said a second ago in that statement, you said, giving these fans what they deserve, perennial playoff team, World Series. Talk to me about what that does mean to you, giving these fans that have supported you from day one, even in the minors. What would it mean to be able to deliver that in the years to come for them?
Yeah, it would mean a lot. I think that was one of the big things when deciding wanting to sign here was, wanting to be someone to bring a World Series to the city and, to an organization and a place that's been so special to me and my family. Not a lot of guys get a chance to play for one organization their whole career, and this is going to be a huge chunk of mine, and it means a lot. Like I said, that they believe in me and that I'm going to get a chance to do that. And I look at guys like guys who come around a lot, like Alvin Davis, Dan Wilson. Obviously, there's Ichi and all them as well, and they're Mariner greats and they're legends here in the city of Seattle, and how much they mean to the city, and I think that's super special and something that money can't buy. So,
Cal, how's your perspective changed? I'm sure growing up, you didn't think, I'm going to be long term with the Seattle Mariners. When you envisioned your big league career, you talked about never even really having much of an idea about Seattle. How's your perspective changed about the city, about your career, and where you want it to go the longer you've been here?
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't know a whole lot about Seattle at the very beginning when I was drafted, and came up here, played in Everett, and slowly learned the culture and slowly learned what this organization, what the city was all about, and I've kind of fell in love with it, and especially since that 22 season when we made a run in the playoffs, and this city has really embraced me, and not just me, but really all of our players. Look at guys like Logan, our staff, JP, Julio, guys have really embraced us, and they're great fans. They really are. They support us all the time, and through the ups and downs. So when you have that kind of background in your system, or people in your background, it makes it really special, and makes me want to stay here and want to play for those people.
Cal, what are some of the things that you enjoy about the city of Seattle? What specifically makes it feel like home for you, a place you want to stick around?
Yeah, I love, obviously, the weather here is great in the summer. That's, I'm thinking about if I was playing in Atlanta, I'd be sweating every single day. It'd be too hot to play in. But no, it's I really do love it here. I think it's a beautiful city. Like I said, I've had many friends here now, and it's kind of become a second home. I've learned the ins and outs and things I like to do around here, and it's been great. And maybe now I can look into buying a house here. So, stay.
In the back row.
So
no.
So last week we went to Mastro's to eat, and you let Logan put his card down. So I'm wondering if you plan on reimbursing him.
Well, the deal wasn't done yet, so. No, I'm not going to reimburse him. He still owes me a few for some dirt balls I've had to block for him, so.
Yeah, Cal, just with this contract, obviously, you and Julio both with the team through the rest of the decade. Just what does it mean to kind of have that status with him as two of the faces of the franchise through such a long period of time?
Yeah, I mean, we want what's best for this organization. We want to help out as much as we can, and hope like I said, make this a perennial playoff team, make this a consistent winner, make this a World Series contender. So whatever we have to do that is kind of how we're going about it, and it's going to be really nice to play with him for a long time, and hopefully some other guys as well, and yeah.
Cal, in your statement the other day, you talked about a shared vision with management here. Can you share with us maybe some of the conversations or some of the insight in the last couple of years that has kind of got you to that conclusion that you guys are on the same page and kind of forging forward to the future?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a couple of years ago we make it. Been right there the last couple of years as well, and I believe in the guys in the room that we have right now. One of the best staffs in all of baseball. Both bullpen and starters. Obviously, looking ahead to the future, a lot of good young prospects. I know you can't always count on that, but a lot of guys with good makeup and guys that I do like what I saw from spring training. And I do believe, we got a lot of good things going here, especially with some guys already locked up. And I think it's a good mix. And, with that being said, it's going to be one of my jobs now to be a leader and to be a guy that can, make this into a consistent winner and somebody that can set the culture the right way here. So that's what I'm really looking forward to.
Al, what would you tell people from outside the organization about that? You've done so much within the organization and building, but if you need to bring in those pieces and you're a guy that they might turn to, what would you tell them?
Yeah, I mean, I would just tell them to kind of believe in what we're trying to do here. So, I mean, obviously from the pitching side of it, you've already seen, what we can do and what guys have already been able to accomplish, and it's really impressive. And I still believe that there's still more in the tank with them. And from the hitting side, I do truly believe we're going to get better and continue to build. And like I said, obviously really looking to the fan base as well. Looking at how great they treat us here and how much they love baseball. And you see it night in, night out. Definitely one of the top in baseball with attendance and things like that. And you come to the ballpark here and people remember it. It's not just our players, it's visitor players as well. And they see what a fun place this is to play and what a great city this is. So I'd say that'd probably be one of the things as well.
Cal, going back to joining Excel this off season to today, what can you share about how this all came together and the conversations you guys had back and forth in that regard?
Yeah, I mean, kind of came to the, conclusion that, this was an opportunity to take advantage of, and, didn't know how long that window would last or if it would ever come about. But I didn't want to leave any doors closed, I guess. And I wanted all possibilities to kind of be out there, and wanted to explore it because, of how well this organization and the city has already treated me. And, like I said, it's not always about the money, and sometimes it's more about being happy and in a place that you love and a place that you really appreciate. And that's what, Seattle has shown me. And, to get that opportunity to do that for a long time means a lot to me and my family as well. And it'll be special, especially, one day when I'm older. I think that's something my dad always tells me as well. You're really going to appreciate it when you're 50, 60, old like he is. So I'm kidding.
There you go. There's Cal Raleigh speaking with the media, making fun of Dave Wyman's age, and we always appreciate that. Hey, and a reminder, don't miss our Big Dumper Era special tonight, a $29 main level. You get that, $29 main level game ticket gets you a Cal Raleigh t-shirt. You can find your tickets at mariners.com/dumper. Plus, as part of the festivities, a few lucky fans will be invited on the field as Cal receives his AL Platinum Glove Award during a pregame ceremony. So there you go. All right, coming up, this might be one of the most aggravating Wymans we have ever had. That is coming your way next as we continue live from Edgar's Cantina here at T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
The John Schneider Show.
Every Thursday until draft day on Wyman and Bob.
We are now speaking with the architect of your Seattle Seahawks.
How we doing, football fans? With Seahawks President of Football Operations and General Manager John Schneider.
My job is to do what's best for the Seattle Seahawks organization. I have to keep wrapping my mind around that and trying to communicate effectively.
Listen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. or watch the interviews on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
What's the standard the Seahawks defense needs to be held to under Mike McDonald?
The John Schneider Show.
Brought to you by Pizza Hut.
Homeowners, what is going on top of your roof? Do you have any idea? Because I can tell you I don't. I didn't, and I still don't. I take that back. I do know what's going on top of my roof now because I had Asset Roofing come out and do an inspection because I'm not somebody who's ever been up there and ever plans to get up there. But we've had a lot of inclement weather, obviously. It's happening today, a lot of rain, snow at times, ice, and everything builds up, especially with trees around you. So I had them come out and do an inspection. I had them do it before. It was probably a little over a year ago, and at that point, they had circled a couple spots, took pictures of everything, and pointed out a couple of areas to keep an eye on. So once they came back out, let's see how those areas are doing. They went up there, checked those out, did some moss removal, did some unclogging of a downspout, and I just felt like, you know what, I'm getting out in front of a potentially big problem and a potentially big expensive problem by doing that. So if you're like me and you have no intention of being up on your roof or have no idea what's going on up there, get Asset Roofing out there to do an inspection. It's a quick, easy appointment. You're not going to find a better company to work with. They are the best in the business. They've been doing it for over 2 decades. And if you're somebody that knows what's going on up there and you know you need a repair or maybe an entirely new roof, check into Asset Roofing. Again, they have earned their reputation for a very good reason. They are the anti-bad contractor. They are the opposite of what you find in this industry, unfortunately, for the other people, but not for Asset Roofing. So if you're looking for somebody you can trust, somebody who's going to live up to their word, you're hiring an asset. You're either hiring a liability or you're hiring an asset. So head to AssetRoofingCo.com. That's AssetRoofingCo.com.
Today,
a 19-year-old girl was kidnapped. I'm gonna bring her home.
Jason Statham is a working man.
Where's the girl? You a cop? You wish I was a cop.
From the director of The Beekeeper.
This is human trafficking.
You do this go for long.
Is that a grenade?
Yep.
You ain't a cop. You're a working man.
That's right. Time to get to work.
A working man. Rated R. Under 17. Not admitted without parent. Now playing only in theaters.
Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. The best place to watch all your favorite sports. Featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, 6 windows, and 30 kiosks. Be there at emeraldqueen.com. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
I started Davis Law Group in 1994 to fight for the underdog. And as our team has grown, we've stayed true to that mission. Today, Davis Law Group is known for providing excellent service and even better results. Visit WashingtonAccidentBooks.com to get your free book on car accident law.
For more than 75 years, University of Maryland Global Campus has given you the opportunity to build your next success. Choose from more than 135 degree and certificate programs in career-relevant fields like business, healthcare, data analytics, cybersecurity, and more. Plus, we offer 100% online and hybrid courses, personalized advising, and lifetime career services. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Febreze. It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades. Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Watch your favorite show live at seattlesports.com.
March is here, and Toyota of Renton and Toyota of Kirkland have teamed up to take away your car buying madness. At Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, they have the widest selection of new and certified used inventory and the largest savings in the region. Now that's a slam dunk. The all-star staff at Toyota of Renton and Kirkland will assist you with a test drive, and you can score that car the very same day. Come see for yourself or visit online at toyotaofrenton.com or toyotaofkirkland.com.
O'Brien. When I found out my son was smoking weed, I thought it was just part of adolescence.
But then I found out how powerful weed is now.
When teens use vapes or dabs, the potency can be 80 to 100% THC.
Use of high THC products by youth can cause hallucinations, cannabis-induced psychosis,
and come with increased risks of suicidal thoughts,
planning, and attempts.
Just Say No, KNOW. Go to justsayno.org today for the facts.
A public service message from Johnny's Ambassadors.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Why, man? Why?
Lunch has been canceled today due to lack of hustle. Deal with it.
He's a habitual line stepper.
What were you thinking? What are you doing?
Why are you the way that you are?
It's the Why Man of the Week.
It is WHYMAN, presented by Mazda of Everett. And we begin with Adam Silver, commissioner of the NBA. He was at the NBA Board of Governors meeting yesterday and still will not commit to whether or not the league will expand.
We want to make sure we put teams in a position, particularly as we're setting the price, to be in a position to be competitive, economically successful, and just as importantly for the other teams, successful on the floor. And the issue I would not have anticipated at the time I sort of began talking about the timeline is how much unknown there is about local media right now. You know, having said that, though, I would just say again to our many fans in Seattle, and I hear from them often, and you know, the legacy of the Sonics is still very strong, and it's a fantastic basketball market, is that we are very focused on it. The fact I think that I'm not being more sort of forthcoming publicly doesn't mean we're not studying it very intensively. We don't take those fans for granted.
Disagree. I'd like to see you pick up the pace there, Adam. You said you're studying it. Well, study faster, okay?
Study harder.
I don't think there should be any debate or doubt about this city's ability to house an NBA franchise because they did it for 4 decades. There is a strong track record of success in this city when it comes to the NBA. And it's you've got the brand new building that is NBA ready. It meets all of the requirements by NBA standards. They've even got a room there that's got the sign on the door that says NBA locker room. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what it is they need to study. Maybe it's more about Vegas and what's going on there, because I think they want to expand with 2 teams at the same time, obviously, and even make things even. But I don't know. I'm curious what it is they're studying. And when he said local TV, I don't know what specifically what he's talking about. Like, is he worried about the ability for a local, whether it's Root Sports or a channel out here to be the home of the Sonics, or what's the fear? I don't.
People would be clamoring to be the home of the Sonics.
Yeah, I'd love to know what he's studying. I'd never know what he's doing back there, Dave.
It's weird. I think it was 2011 when I started on this show in the afternoon, and I just remember in like 12 or maybe 13, and you were obviously at the station with Graz. I remember people talking about 2025. That's the absolute, longest period of time that was kind of almost. We took a stray here, but yeah,
ball over the net.
But I remember thinking, there's no way it'll be that long. It's got to be here by I was saying 2020, and yeah, it's just so frustrating for fans that are just waiting for it. Where can I buy my tickets? Where can I buy my Seattle gear?
Yeah,
and it's just so frustrating.
Yeah, it's remarkably frustrating, and they as far as it pertains to Seattle, there should be almost no concern about how it's going to do here. Meanwhile, quickly, Puka Nacua talking about when he'd like to retire from the NFL.
At what point do you know, when to retire, right? And then, what do you do after?
I want to retire at the age of 30. I'm 23 right now. I'm going into year 3. I think of Aaron Donald, to go out at the top, I think it would be super cool, but then also be I want to have a big family. Just I want to have at least a starting 5. I'm I came from a big family.
So he said he want 5.
I need 5 boys. I need 5 boys for sure.
That's cool.
But also be man, I want to be able to be a part of their lives and be as active as I can with them. So I'm I don't want to be. The injuries are something that you can't control part of the game. So you never know. Hopefully the rest of your career go healthy. But you have shoulder surgery, you have knee surgery, you have ankle, and be by the time my kids could be 18, I could be barely walking if if you play the game and you sustain all the injuries. I want to retire early.
Yeah, that is not. I mean, that's kind of a thing that everybody says that. I want to be able to play with my kids in the backyard.
Yeah,
you'll be fine. You'll be fine, Puka. I mean, everybody's in pain. I mean, if you ask some of my relatives, they're all they do is talk about how much pain they're in. They didn't play that down in the NFL. And, and the other thing is taking you away from your family. I got so much time spent with my family during the season. It was like a regular job. I had Tuesdays off. Monday was a half a day. A lot of times, Saturday, you get most of Saturday if it's a home game. So I don't know. I think he is. It's like he's listened to a whole bunch of cliches or something.
Yeah. He's 23 right now. His opinion can definitely grow and change. And I like how he says he wants at least a starting 5. Oh, goodness.
That's expensive. A lot of time, too.
Yeah.
No sleep.
Good luck with all of that.
Yeah.
All right. Coming up, we always enjoy talking to this guy because of his sunny disposition and just his cheery outlook on life. We're talking about Ryan Divish. He's going to join us next with Wyman and Bob live from Edgar's Cantina at T-Mobile Park, Seattle Sports on 710.
For Down Territory, going inside the game with former Cougs and Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
The NFL is trying to clean up the game. What do they want to emphasize, and how do you feel about it?
The NFL wants to bring in more sportsmanship. And I understand they're saying, look, we want kids watching the game to learn from these guys. And listen, it is a good idea. But the ball player in me says, man, forget all that noise. This is football.
For Down Territory, every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
Say, partner, what happens when you combine Truck Month with the March sales event at the West Hills Autoplex?
Oh boy, gift card with test drive, complimentary basketballs, free throw for savings, deals on trucks, Ford trucks, Chevy trucks, Ram, GMC, new trucks, used trucks, trucks and trucks and trucks and trucks.
Celebrate Truck Month and the March sales event at the West Hills Autoplex this weekend, part of the Hazelwood Auto Group.
Hazelwood has it!
Trucks and trucks and trucks.
Through March 31st, save double your sales tax from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Plus, enjoy easy 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest, same as cash 12-month financing. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com to save double today.
Take your game day experience to the next level with a Mariners Suite. Suites are perfect for birthdays, anniversaries, client meetings, and that company outing you've been trying to plan for months. Enjoy first-class catering, VIP parking, custom setups for 14 to 400 people, and more, all with the help of a dedicated Mariners rep. Suites start at $125 per person, and season ticket members get 15% off. Reserve now at mariners.com/suites.
Munoz strikes out the side, and the ball game is over.
Did you know that most people wait 6 or 7 years before they buy a new TV? That's a lot of time in front of one TV. So why not get one of the best sets for the next 7 years, like one of the top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony models? Too expensive? What if you could get up to $1,000 trade-in for your old set? Who would do a stupid deal like this? Right now, at Video Only, you can get big bucks for your old set as a trade-in and a hot price on the new models. Don't be sorry. Check out Video Only.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Stream every Seattle sports show with the Seattle Sports app. Brought to you by Fred Hutchinson Cancer Center. Get new videos, podcasts, and articles on the Seahawks and Mariners from your favorite Seattle sports personalities daily.
Something amazing is happening. Technology is working harder, faster, and more reliably. It's delivering results that work. But who makes technology work? CDW. We're a full-service technology solutions provider, advising our clients and designing customized solutions so they can reach their goals and do amazing things. CDW. Make amazing happen. Find out more at cdw.com.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your team and focus on your future. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Get 1 free set of brake pads when you buy 2 brake rotors. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts. Offer in-store only. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
T-Mobile home internet is all about speed, value.
What you doing, Zach?
First thing, there are so many benefits. You got to talk fast.
T-Mobile home internet ranks #1 in customer satisfaction for home wireless internet by J.D. Power.
Wow, you are good.
Try singing it. T-Mobile has price lock.
They won't raise your rate on internet.
Hulu and Paramount Plus on them.
Get T-Mobile home internet all in for just $55 a month with autopay and any postpaid voice line.
Additional terms apply. For J.D. Power 2024 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-961-5544. 800-961-5544.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Well, the Baltimore Ravens have locked up John Harbaugh through the 2028 season, announcing a 3-year extension for the head coach. The 62-year-old was entering the final year of his current deal. The Ravens have never let him start a regular season on the final year of his contract since he was hired back in 2008. He is the Ravens' all-time winningest head coach with a 185-115 record over 17 seasons. Guided the team to a Super Bowl title in 2012 and his 12 playoff appearances, second most in the league behind Andy Reid's 14 since he was hired.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
We continue live from Edgar's Cantina here at T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710. And for those of you watching on the stream, you see our guest here on the set with us. I got you. Well, Coach gets very worked up. It's we're early in the season. He's going to calm down after we get a few games under our belt here.
Oh, he's just so worried that we're going to miss something from Ryan Divish.
It's all gold. You don't want to miss a single syllable of it. Ryan Divish of the Seattle Times is here with us. How are you, man?
I'm good. I think I'm capable of turning the mic on when lit.
It's complex.
You know what? How clean is your apartment? Are you the OCD? Oh wait, he is too. So it's like
it fits in with the show. Wait, some guests are a little particular. They won't touch the button, so they have to have it turned on for them.
Okay, yeah.
You know what?
Where's the one where the F-bomb button?
Oh, we have that one.
That's
back in the studio.
Okay.
Yeah. I've always wondered how that button right there makes you cough.
I don't know. Oh my God!
We've reached that point. Joke?
Yeah. That's a dad joke.
We've reached that point.
Goodness, right out of the gates.
I'm really proud of it, Bob.
I can tell.
I stand behind it.
Divish, what did you make of last night's game? I think there was a little bit of. I was getting some texts from buddies like through the 5th and 6th, going, "Oh boy, here we go." Our starter's throwing a gem, and the offense is doing nothing. And then obviously we saw how it turned out, which was fantastic. But was there a moment there where you're going, "Oh boy, is this a replay? A repeat?" I know it's game 1 of 162, but what were you thinking at that point?
Yeah, I don't know if I had the reminder of it or the deja vu, but my Twitter mentions made sure to mention it to me that they'd seen this before. When Logan gave up the homer to Soderstrom, I was going to go screen grab it and post all the tweets of game over, season's over, this is stupid, and
season's over.
I mean, this is like their PTSD. They've been beaten into this over the years. And so I didn't really want to gloat. I mean, it was 1-0 and I was okay, but all the memes and all the trolls and all the naysayers, they had their moment for the first 7 innings, essentially. Yeah. The Mariners didn't look great. I do kind of was like, the one thing I was kind of looking at the box score, and I mentioned it to Justin Hollander just a little bit ago in the Cal presser just afterwards, is that they struck out 7 times last night, and they walked 7 times. 1-to-1 ratio on that, which is that's ideal. He said he must have been the same thinking as me. He went and looked it up. That only happened 5 times all last season, where they had equal amount of walks and strikeouts. They always had more strikeouts than walks.
Yeah.
And I mean, you look at the hits too, not a ton, but that was they had 7-7 walked, strikeout, and they walked 1 guy last night and struck out 10 for their pitchers. So you want that kind of ratio. And so I thought that was something, because they did have a lot of traffic on the bases. They made some curious decisions when they did get traffic on the bases, but I think that's a good start to where they're at or where they want to get to is finding ways to reduce strikeouts, put the ball play more, or draw walks. And we saw that last night.
What about Polanco? Do you think he can stay healthy based on, we were kind of trying to figure out what's his knee
So he had
problem.
He had some damage to the patellar tendon.
Patellar tendon.
So he had to have it. They went in with a scope, cleaned it up, removed a bunch of stuff, and I think, just cleaned up. It gets fraying and stuff like that. So
this is like his 13th year, right?
Yeah, he's older dude. You don't look it maybe, but I think they're going to be smart. You're not going to see him play third base every day. I think if he hits like this, he'll DH some of those days though too. So they have some versatility. I still think he's a little shaky at third. You watch him, it's not the most comfortable thing in the world. He wasn't, laterally he's not great, and the ball charging in is going to be a problem because that's hard on your knees when you're trying to stop.
Yeah.
All those things will be a factor, but we saw with Josh Rojas last year the more he did work with Perry Hill on a daily basis, the more he played, he got better and better as the season went on. I think with Polanco, if they keep the knee healthy, he will improve fundamentally. He's not going to be a Gold Glover, but just make the plays you're supposed to make, and that's half the battle. It's the same with Ryan Bliss at second base. Ryan Bliss made some great plays last night, and he has a tendency to do that. It's the routine ones where sometimes he gets a little out of sorts because it's so routine, and those are the ones he makes the mistakes on. That's what wins you games more often than not, is making the plays you're supposed to make. And that's something you definitely got to want to monitor is, Polanco, Bliss at second, when Raleigh's playing first, even Randy in left field at times. Like, it's not always going to be pretty defensively, but if you just make the outs or turn the outs that are supposed to be outs and outs, then you'll be fine more often than not.
Yeah, I'm curious to see Polanco's arm. He had the one throw last night. He lollipopped it over there. There was some arc on that.
He used all of Rowdy's frame on that.
Yes, he did.
Well.
So when it is somebody who's busting it down the line that's got some speed, what does the arm look like?
I don't think it's terrible. Again, Kyle Seager got through how many years and was a Gold Glover and perennially one of the best defensive players at third base in MLB, and he had not a great arm at all. If you get rid of it fast, that's half the battle. Just get rid of it. Field it clean, get rid of it fast. Make sure God, I've been listening to Perry Hill so much. But just if your footwork is clean, usually your throws will be clean. More often than not, bad throws are a result of bad footwork. Your feet are in the wrong place, leading to your arm throwing it awry. So, I think he'll be fine. Like I said, I don't think it's going to be Gold Glove. And I do think at times we'll see Dylan Moore in there maybe late in the game if it's close. Move some guys around, defensive replacement late in the game. That way you do have a guy that's probably more sure-handed at third base in Dylan Moore.
I take it you were at the Cal presser.
Yeah.
And Logan was in the back.
The whole pitching staff was there, and the pitching coaches. And Bryce asked a question. Brian Wu asked the how quarterback takes care of his linemen. So Brian Wu was like, Cal, you're going to take care of your pitchers. And Bryce mentioned that when they went to dinner the other night at Mastro's, Logan paid and not Cal. Right. So does Logan get reimbursed for all of this?
He said no.
I mean, I that those guys showed up and to have fun and the way they rib him and the way he gets on them. I mean, it does speak to how popular he is with this team. You won't find anybody that says a bad word about him, at least not to us, on the record or off the record, because, he goes out there and busts his ass and gets beat up all the time and he plays. I mean, he would play 162 if you let him. Mm-hmm. And I think when you are that tough and you play as hurt as often as he does, you have a knack for producing in the clutch, and you put in as much work as anybody, and you hold yourself to a high level of accountability. You can't be a guy on the team that doesn't and speak out against that.
Yeah.
And we've seen that in the past where there have been guys that maybe don't have that kind of level of commitment. They get rid of them pretty quick. They move them out.
Two things here. A, or one, either. Does this deal does this deal get done if Boris is still his agent? And B, or two, did it seem like a pretty team-friendly deal, in terms of the dollars, And I get the urgency to do it as a catcher because he wasn't going to be a free agent until he's 31.
Yeah.
And who knows physically where he's at. So I get that part of it, but just it seemed pretty darn reasonable considering how productive he is and how he's now starting to be viewed around the league as, if he's not the best catcher, he's in that conversation amongst the top two or three.
Yeah, I think Boris kind of has one play, the one philosophy, and that's take it to free agency and maximize. And while the agent technically works for the player, he is very convincing or very resistant to going away from that.
Yeah.
So I do think Cal's guy, his rep that was with Boris, leaving Boris, going to Excel and continuing his relationship with Cal there, I think that helped. And I mean, Cal, in talking with him, I've talked with him a lot this spring, he was very open to it. I think he thought about it and he gained some perspective and just decided that this is kind of where I want to be. And he looked at kind of the stability that he was craving and he said to his agent, let's do this. Let's listen to what they have to say. At least what are our range? What do we think is fair? And let's see if we can get that. The deal is pretty I wouldn't say team friendly, but I think it's market friendly. They're not overpaying. They're not giving him $30 million, and he wasn't going to ask for that. Mm-hmm. That's the one thing too, is he wanted to get something done. He wasn't going to ask for all the money in the world. So if you look at it, over $105 million, that's pretty fair. And then if it gets to 123 over 7 years, you're paying pretty good. What he does with the team, what he does with the pitchers, the hitting, and then the immeasurables that you can't quantify statistically. I think it's a very fair deal. And the big thing, too, is the signing bonus of $10 million and then the $1 million salary. Remember, they didn't have a lot of money to work with this year in their budget projections. So they bump his $5.6 million salary down to $1 million. The $10 million salary is amortized. He gets it all at once, but it's not against the luxury tax and all this other stuff. So it doesn't necessarily affect their budget the way it does. So they do have, by doing this, giving him the $1 million and then the $10 million signing bonus, technically they have a little bit more money to work with than they did starting the season, which will help them, maybe $7 to $8 million, $9 million when you get to the deadline, and you might need to add a guy that's making some money. You have already some money saved up that you can kind of do that.
So glad that he signed here, but I'm just thinking that 2-3 years from now, some team that has a couple of really good pitchers, if he is on the free agent market, just that part alone, what a great sales point for Cal, right? How much do you think it's kind of like Tom Brady, right? Tom Brady always got paid less, but how much if he wanted to go the free agent market, how much do you think he left on the table?
40 or 50 million maybe. But that's the thing, is he would have been 31 at free agency, and that's the big difference. And you don't, because of the position and the nature of the position, you don't know when that an injury can hit you and knock you down and really cost you some money.
True.
He was a late starter in that regard. People forget in the 2022 season when he hit that homer and hit 28 homers, he was sent down.
Yeah.
He was sent down to the minor leagues. And the only reason he got called back up was because Tom Murphy got hurt.
Right. Yep.
So, how does it change? I wrote it in my story, my big story of the season preview, but Cal was supposed to go to the Atlanta Braves. They had a pre-draft with his agent, when he was coming out of Florida State, because I went back and researched this and I was surprised to see this, but everybody expected him to be taken by the Braves because they thought there was an agreement in place for Cal to go there. And basically the agents were saying we're not signing. He wants to go here. This is the deal we want. And the Mariners drafted him anyways and were able to get it done. And he almost didn't sign anyways because he thought he could go back to Florida State. They were going to contend for a College World Series. He loved college. You're a baseball player at Florida State. There's plenty of reasons to like college. And he almost didn't sign. He signed 10 minutes before the deadline that would have sent him back into the draft for the next year. And so they got it done. And the one thing about that is, and I'm sure there may have been some frustration because he didn't, he had an idea where he's going to go. Cal is a coach's kid. He embraced the situation, went to work. And I think that's the one thing, too. As a kid, you don't grow up. A kid growing up in North Carolina probably doesn't think, and he has dreams of being a big leaguer. I'm going to be with the Seattle Mariners for my career. He even admitted, I didn't really know much about Seattle. I'd never been there, when I got drafted. And then all of a sudden, as you get older, you become part of an organization, you play, you have friends, you be in the city, you build relationships. Your perspectives change. Same with me. I didn't think I was going to be the Mariners beat writer. I wanted to live on the East Coast, I thought. And then I got out there and I was like, oh, hell no, I want no part of this. Certainly not going to live in St. Louis. That's a hellhole forever. But
I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there.
So, no, I think Cal's perspective on the organization and his career and what he wanted out of his career changed, like a lot of us. And he looked around and he decided this was the best place for him. You look at the pitchers he has, the relationships he's built. He wants to be here. And credit to the Mariners. They found a way to get it done. And that's one thing. They have locked up guys. You have Munoz, multi-year deal, Julio, Castillo, Cal. Will they get Logan? I'm sure that's their next main target. Will they pivot to Bryce? That's one thing about draft, develop, and trade. There's another part of it is lock them up if you can. The Braves have been really good about that. Locked up Albies, Acuna, Austin Riley. If you can get your guys locked up, keep them here, that controls the cost that you're changing. So then the market the free agent market doesn't dictate how much you're paying for a player once you got guys locked up. So it's a team-friendly deal in a lot of ways. It's a very Cal-friendly deal in a lot of ways. It's, you know, life change. It's generational money. You're talking probably $100 million guaranteed.
You should be able to make it work.
Yeah, and I mean, can you? And now the question is, can they sell a contract to Logan Gilbert that maybe isn't the market value that Max Fried got, but somewhere near it, to keep him here?
What's your estimation on the 4? How many do they? You think they can lock up 2 of them? And if so, which 2 would it be of the 4 in the rotation beyond Castillo?
Got to be Logan, right? I mean, he has to be one.
But he has the chance to make the most money out of all of them.
Yeah.
If you look at it, 200 innings. He's one of the best pitchers in the American League now. He's got 2 more years, and he gets pretty expensive. Like, was he $8 million this year almost?
Yeah.
So he could be up to 12 next year, and then 16 the year after that if you just go by 4s. It's a significant amount of money. We always kind of think that George would be the one to go to free agency. You know, he's from New York. He likes the East Coast, but again, maybe his thoughts change. Whatever. A lot of times too, if it's the right money and you feel comfortable. I remember talking to Mitch Haniger when he came back, and while he was very happy about the contract and everything else, he didn't necessarily love being in the Bay Area in San Francisco. Yeah, he grew up there, but just how the organization did stuff. Like he said, you know, sometimes it's not always better just because you're making more money. Like from a day-to-day standpoint, your life isn't that much better if your professional workspace isn't what you were looking for. So maybe that's what they sell it on. I mean, Cal being here, I mean, if you're a pitcher, you want to pitch to him, and he cares about you. What if you end up in an organization that's got a catcher who just doesn't care?
Well, plus the park. I mean, it's adverse for hitters, certainly, in attracting free agent hitters. But I would think as a pitcher this has been your home park, you know what an advantage it is for you.
And to me, it's like sometimes it's the lower round picks that are maybe – because when you're a first-round pick, you get the first-round signing bonus. You have an idea of where you think you're going to be the whole time. You know, you've been the upper echelon, so you think free agency, wherever, you get to an idea where you want to be. But somebody like Bryce, who was like 4th-round pick, maybe he looks at it and says, this is the organization that found me, developed me, trusted me. I like it here. They've brought out the best of me. Why would I want to go somewhere else? You know, and so I think I'm sure the Mariners weighing. It's tough to do it during the season, but I think you change it around. Those are the guys you look at. Because, like, from a position player standpoint, you're not really seeing anybody else you're looking to lock up, are you? Randy's not going to sign an extension, I would imagine, and he's, 31 right now anyways? You're not looking to add a bunch of years onto him. I guess if you're the Mariners, maybe you're looking at talking to Laz Montez, Colt Emerson, or those guys when they get to AAA and signing one of those deals like Evan White or you know, some of these other deals you're seeing.
They offered to Kelnick.
Yeah, maybe you do that if you really believe they're going to get home. But I do think you look at it now, their catcher, their shortstop, and their center field are all locked up. They have stability. They know they have the heir apparent in their shortstops in either Felnine Celestin or Colt Emerson in the next 3 years. So, like, they have, like, a roadmap of success. You always want to be strong up the middle. And, you know, I think that this is a big deal for the organization.
Yeah, it's interesting putting it into, you know, what money. I mean, I think we're to the point now where guys are, because I always give other people's money away.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, yeah, he can do that for $10 million instead of 20. But now all of a sudden, you know, it's getting to that point. It's not like the dollar amount that it used to be, because the numbers are so big now that you're like, okay, well, what's this worth to me? Sometimes it's like $10 million.
Yeah.
Being in a certain place or whatever.
Yeah, and that's like the whole perspective. You know, I just think you find a place where you're happy and you like what you're doing where you're at, then maybe making the most isn't always the priority.
Right.
You know, with some guys it is, but like I think we've been around Cal enough to know that really isn't how his mind works. I'm curious, you know, when Kyle Seager was here and he signed his extension and the promise was, hey, we're going to continue to push every year. And they did, but they didn't. You know, they did get Cano and they got Cruz and everything, but when it came to finish, they just didn't, you know, there was always a limit. And I wonder if they've talked to Cal about that. I mean, I think Cal's a realist. He knows that they're probably not going to be able to sign all those guys to extensions. They know that this is the next few years, that this is the optimal window. He does know, like, the prospects are good. I think they're in a better position to have sustained success than they've ever been, but it's that last little bit. We've talked about it on here before. Do you have the courage to push in and say, look, we're going to get a guy. We need one more piece. We're going to trade. We're going to do that. They did that a few years ago with Castillo, but it did feel unfinished, like they could have done more. Do they get the green light? Because a lot of the guys you're going to be getting are guys on contracts where you have to commit dollars for not just the year you have, but the years after. Will they do that? I mean, you know, you saw last night what this team kind of could be a little bit. And we've seen it off and on the last few years.
Yep.
But, you know, will they do that moving forward? That's the big if.
Take advantage of it when you got all four of those guys there.
Yeah.
You got them here now. They're not the likelihood of all four coming back is slim to none.
Yeah.
You got them now. They're cheap by baseball standards. Commit.
Yeah.
Commit right now to taking advantage of their presence.
I just think you can't ever assume the window for success is going to remain open because weird things happen, especially injuries. You know, like Dave, you knew, like when I covered the Seahawks Super Bowl in Phoenix that year, and you're there and you're thinking they're marching down, and I had to write the running game story so Condota wouldn't freak out. You know, they're making me do it. And I got like, well, because he just always freaks out. But you know, I've got this. I've got 3 documents open. I've got one on the Patriots winning, one on the Seahawks winning, and kind of turning into the Patriots. That was the next step. You know, they were going to win back-to-back Super Bowls. They were going to be the next dynasty. And then all of a sudden, the window doesn't stay because people are human, and you get injuries, and you get attitude and ego, and all this stuff creep in. So, yes, the talent is here, and you can say it's all under club control, and we're not paying very much. But there are all the other factors that can close a window faster than you think that are unexpected, and injury being the main one, but you just don't know. I mean, the lockout looming in 2 years is a big deal, too. You better try and do something before that lockout happens because, like, you don't know what's going to happen after that.
That was a great parallel. Yeah. Well, we can talk. I know we got to go, but the Super Bowl 49 team and, you know, what they went through and everything. Yeah.
And to finish second, and then it's like, it felt like the window didn't just close; it was slammed shut.
Slammed shut.
Because there was no walking that back either.
No. They got nailed shut.
Yeah.
Ryan, we appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
There you go. There's Ryan Divish of the Seattle Times. If you missed any part of that conversation, you'll be able to find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Meanwhile, there was one thing that might have been the most encouraging sign from the Mariners' win yesterday. We'll get into that next as we continue live from Edgar's Cantina at T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk. Weekdays 6 to 10.
The Mariners announced the launch of Root Sports Stream app. Access to all Root Sports programming, including Mariners games and other Mariners-related content. No blackouts, no cable or satellite subscription or contract required. That's great news. Oh, this is going to save me some money. Thank you, Mariners. Thank you.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto Family.
Hello. Welcome to the Lee Johnson Auto Family. This is King. This organization's a special one. They call it the Lee Johnson Auto Family, and it's not just a name. It's not just some cliche. They foster an environment for us to become a family, to work together, to really become close. And they show us in a lot of different ways that they do value us. Is it perfect? No place is. But I've been very thankful to be here in the almost 10 years and have every plan to stay here for a lot longer and just watch it continue to grow.
He's fun and professional, which explains why so many people visiting Lee Johnson Kia ask for him by name. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto Family.
Eric Johnson here. I covered a lot of accidents over the past 30 years or so, but I never got to say much about what to do after a crash. Be honest, do you know what evidence to collect, what pictures to take, what documents to request, or what you shouldn't say to your insurance company? The Washington Accident Book Series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the roads throw at them. Know your rights and how to avoid common mistakes after an accident by getting your free copy at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Taxes was taxing. Now taxes is relaxing when you file for free.
I can file for free? TurboTax Free Edition. Roughly 37% of filers qualify. Simple Form 1040 returns only. See if you qualify at turbotax.com/free. I can file for free.
Now this is taxes. File for free with TurboTax Free Edition and get your maximum refund. No schedules except for earned income tax credit, child tax credit, and student loan interest. See if you qualify at turbotax.com/free.
Who's cutting down the nets this year? Get in on all the tournament action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest upsets to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Daredevil is born again on Disney+.
My name is Matthew Murdoch. I'm a lawyer. Exactly what kind of a lawyer am I? A really good one.
Critics everywhere agree it's the best Marvel television series. Gritty, intense, and elevated. It's Daredevil at his best.
If you step out of line, I will be there.
Marvel Television's Daredevil, Born Again, now streaming only on Disney+.
The John Schneider Show.
Every Thursday until draft day on Wyman and Bob.
Listen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. or watch the interviews on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Attention tax accountants. The following message is for you. Tax season is here, and if you're an accounting firm, the pressure is on. Long hours and tight deadlines make this time of year a challenge for even the most seasoned tax professionals. But this tax season, Blue Jay has your back. Powered by generative AI, Blue Jay is the preferred partner solution of CPA.com for tax research. Ask a complex tax question, and Blue Jay gives you better tax answers in seconds. Save time, maximize your clients' refunds with high-speed, accurate, and intuitive AI technology. Built with a library of only the most trusted tax resources, updated daily to keep up with changes in tax. For a limited time, save 40% off at bluejay.com/start now. That's BLUE, the letter J.com/start now. Or text BLUE to 511-511. Save 40% by texting BLUE to 511-511. Tax accountants don't leave money on the table. Stress less and text BLUE to 511-511 today. Tax fees may apply.
So what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a hot deal on those top-rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video Only scored better than the others.
So, if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
then we should take our TV ratings and head over to top-rated Video Only.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We continue live from Edgar's Cantina here at T-Mobile Park. Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710. Our thanks to Ryan Divish, who joined us in the previous segment. In case you guys just tuned in and missed that conversation, you can find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. I like that we've got people that work here at the Cantina walking around with hand warmers in their hands going, it's freezing. And then we got our guy Isaiah here trying to pretend it's not cold at all, wearing shorts. short sleeve shirt, and sunglasses like it's 80 degrees in here. Look at him.
I feel like a big wussy.
He's pretending. He's cold right now. He just doesn't want to admit it.
I don't. The shorts, my legs don't get cold. I don't worry about that. Mainly, I can't really feel anything down there.
That's right.
Both my knees have been. I mean, my knees, Matt, not the other areas. When I said down there,
I'm numb from the waist down. Matt was going, oh, that's terrible.
And then also, before somebody makes the joke, from my neck up as well.
Kind of numb there,
speaking
too.
of that, we got mean text coming up. I have not seen.
You're
much
mean
of an
texting
effort.
yourself.
Well, that's fine, but I've requested that they take shots at Lefko, but I haven't
Yeah,
seen
is that
anything.
different than any other week? You just
Well,
had
I think he was
ask for
hoping
a special request.
I think he was hoping they were really going to pour it on.
Extra special.
Well, somehow they'll always end up back on you, I think. So
Did they lay into left coat? Oh,
Yeah, we got
I
some.
didn't check him early. So
that was going back
when Dave
then.
was making the plea for
well, you did it too early. They forget by the time it comes around. So you got to do it again when it gets closer.
Yeah, because they're attention span.
Yeah,
It's like a bird.
exactly.
It's a
basically.
goldfish.
Yeah. The one thing I really appreciate is that Lefko loved my dad joke. Like he really, like it didn't hit him right away, and then it hit him later, and he started laughing.
It was just so, it was just so right there.
I really appreciate that.
I
you know what?
forgot it
Mike's
already.
okay. Let's go after Bob instead.
Well, Bob, I can tell you again. So there's this button that says cough, and Dave wanted to know how it makes you cough.
You know what? I actually stole that from Frasier. There was some ditzy person that came in, and then she's looking at everything in his studio, and she's like, how does the button make you cough? And I'm like, that's really good. I'm going to use that.
I'm going to repurpose that and call it my own.
There you go.
There you go. All right. Meanwhile, some encouraging signs from one game. We keep it all in perspective. You got 161 to go, so we'll see what happens. But for people like me and others that were very curious, to say the least, about how some of these guys were going to look coming out of the gates, and more importantly, I'm not saying because they had success in spring training it immediately translated to the regular season. It did in game one. We'll see how the season goes. We haven't seen Garver yet. JP didn't do much last night, but you did see Polanco, who was a big part of what we looked at as failure for the team last year. Guy just didn't have a good season at all. He was injured, certainly. That obviously could have played, and he said played a big part in it. So you saw him come up with 3 hits, including the go-ahead 2-run home run. It's I've got to believe that on some level that it just helps their confidence. That I'm not saying there's an automatic correlation. I can hear our guys, Luke Arkin's probably at home getting ready to send me a tweet that says there's no connection between spring and the regular season. And that's not even really what I'm trying to say, other than maybe guys just get a chance to relax a little bit, that they're not pressing so hard coming out of spring because they're coming off a bad year. And then if they continue that in the next spring, right, you had your whole offseason to sit there and pick it apart and whatever they do, look at film, work on their mechanics, work on getting in shape, and then they get to spring training and they're not getting results. They don't feel like maybe they're on time, they're not seeing the ball, they're not squaring it up, and then you hit the regular season. How could you not be mentally in a different spot versus, hey, man, I was just out there seeing everything in spring. I was squaring it up. My timing felt great. My swing, I feel physically great. How is there not a difference between those two?
Yeah. I was kind of comparing that to, how it felt in the preseason, versus the regular season. Because I know going into the NFL, the veterans would say, hey, there's 3 different seasons, man. There's preseason, then there's the regular season, and then there's the playoffs,
right,
and how everything ramps up as you go. But, for Polanco, I think you brought this up. He was hitting lefty, the home run that he hit. And for him to be able to load up on that knee, I mean, I think, a lot of times it's just 1 or 2 little things, you know what I mean, that make it kind of trigger for you. I'm not sure if I answer your question, but
it's just, we don't know for a fact. I think it's unique to each individual. I think success in spring could impact some players just in terms of confidence.
Right.
And other players, maybe it's got 0 impact.
Yeah.
Maybe they come into the season with the exact same mindset they would have whether they were killing it in spring or they were face planting in spring.
Right.
So I don't think it's an exact science. I'm sure if we asked each guy, they might have a different answer.
Yeah. Well, and everybody, you go through these, as an athlete, I think, you go through these periods of time. Like I said, it was just, a lot of times it was one thing. I made a play my senior year, coming back from a horrible knee injury, missed an entire year. The first 3 games, I had like a whole bunch of assisted tackles, right? Like I wasn't hitting anybody, I wasn't making plays. And then it was, I think it's the 3rd game is against Oregon State, and it was down in Beaverton. And I remember just pulling the trigger, making a tackle for a loss, and it was like, boom, I'm off. I'm going. That's it. I've got, now it's not like I made every single tackle, but like I just felt better. I felt more secure.
Like
and
you could breathe, like the weight off your shoulders on some level.
Exactly. So, I think that especially for Major League Baseball players and especially hitters, I mean, that goes a really long way because, hey, you have a bad strikeout, you understand why. Right, and I feel like that's the worst thing is when you're going up there and you're pushing and you're struggling and you can't figure out why, what's going on. It looks like that anyway with Polanco. We don't know. Like you said, everybody understands. I think that's listening that we're talking about, we're judging one game and we're judging spring training, which
the merits of spring success.
Yeah,
I mean we're just so conditioned to dismiss it out of hand.
Yeah.
Right. That's just, if you've been a baseball fan for any length of time, you're just taught that. You're just kind of it's spring. Doesn't mean much. Guys are working on things. It's kind of a catch-all statement. Guys are working on stuff. That's usually what you say when somebody's not doing well.
A pitcher gets lit up.
Yeah, he's working on stuff. And some will even tell you they're throwing the same pitch 12, 13 times in a row. That's not happening. Yeah, so we're just so conditioned to just, kind of go, whatever. Let's see what the regular, and that's true. It doesn't count, and I get it, but I just can't help but think that there's some level of relief when you've been working on things heading into spring and you see success, that you don't enter the regular season with some level of just, I was feeling good. I feel good. I got just a different level of confidence to attack the regular season with. All right, coming up, excuse me, we didn't know it at the time, but one of us here was moonlighting as a baseball analyst last night. We'll hear about that when we sweep the dial. Coming up with Wyman and Bob, live from Edgar's Cantina at T-Mobile Park. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk. Weekdays 6 to 10.
There is no offensive problem in Seattle when Julio is hot. None. All of the offensive problems that the Mariners have had in the last couple of years disappear when Julio's hot.
Yeah, you can put all that pressure on Julio, and it's all about Julio. And if Julio goes, everybody else goes. But we also know every rotation that comes in says, don't let that guy get going. So we will not give him much to hit.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Swedish Cyberknife is expanding. Hey, it's Dave Wyman here with some exciting news from our friends at Swedish. They're adding a second Cyberknife, so patients can now receive Cyberknife treatment at Swedish Cherry Hill and the First Hill campuses. And as many of the 710 listeners know, Cyberknife is a non-invasive, non-surgical treatment option for prostate cancer with proven results. And it uses advanced technology to track your slightest body movements while adjusting in real time to deliver radiation with extreme precision. Healthy surrounding tissue and organs are spared from radiation. And the end result, excellent long-term cancer control and significantly reduced side effects. Compared with other radiation therapies, which sometimes last 6 to 9 weeks, the Cyberknife treatment period is typically only 5 days, each lasting less than an hour. So when diagnosed with prostate cancer, consider treatment with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/Cyberknife prostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife.
Meanwhile, at Xfinity.
So, influencer life going well?
Oh, yeah. I'm up to 32 followers.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah, posting my tap dancing videos is easier than ever because we engineered Xfinity Internet with 99.99% network reliability.
Plus, Xfinity Mobile with Wi-Fi Power Boost gives you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. But wait, tap dancing? You don't tap dance.
Hey, what I lack in skill, I make up with passion.
Do more of what you love and love how fast you do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. And now through April 21st, get 300 megabit Xfinity internet and one unlimited mobile line together for $25 a month for 1 year and save $1,000 in your first year over Verizon and AT&T. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Savings compared to Verizon 5G internet plus one unlimited welcome line and AT&T internet 300 plus one unlimited starter SL line. Xfinity internet required. Actual speeds vary. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
Did you know colon cancer can be detected early or prevented through regular screening?
I have detected Around Earth is the greatest lie ever.
Okay, Roger. My uncle just passed away and I inherited his cockatoo, Roger. He was a member of the Flat Earth Society, so Roger picked up on some of his rhetoric. Anyway, screening, such as a colonoscopy.
Screen these! Screen these!
Roger that, Roger. Moving on. Colonoscopies can detect early-stage colon or rectal cancer or even polyps, which are abnormal growths that can turn into cancer over time.
I'm a Flat Earth walker.
Come on, Roger. What did I do to my uncle to deserve you? You don't get to choose what you inherit, just like colon cancer. Unlike Roger here, I believe in science. And science says that if colon cancer runs in your family, you're more likely to develop it yourself. Talk to your doctor about when you should start screening. Find out more at coloncancercoalition.org. A message from the Colon Cancer Coalition.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
Paid political advertisement. Did you know insurance companies don't always pay what they should when your car is totaled? Too many Washington drivers are forced to accept lowball payouts or pay out of pocket for repairs their insurance should cover. But SB 5721 can change that. This bill holds insurers accountable, ensuring they provide fair vehicle valuations and cover the full cost of repairs. It also creates a simple, fast dispute resolution process so you don't have to fight alone. Stand up for fair coverage. Visit fairautoclaims.com to contact your lawmakers and tell them support Senate Bill 5721, sponsored by the Washington Independent Collision Repairers Association.
Hey, it's me, second base at T-Mobile Park. In my view, it's pretty sweet. I can see the big dumper flashing his platinum glove, firing a perfect throw right at me. Here comes the tag. Oh, got him!
Another striking on throwback for Raleigh.
Then there's Julio, stomping on me on his way to a stand-up triple. That dude is unreal.
Swinging a line drive, Julio round to third with a two-out, three-run triple.
And JP, smooth as silk, snaring line drives out of thin air.
And he takes a hit away!
Come check it out for yourself. There's nothing like being this close to the action. Although I'm still waiting to get invited to the wind dance. A base can dream. Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
The Mariners have a stacked slate of promos on deck, including next week's Julio Bat Flip Bobble Giveaway, Monday through Wednesday, and a Cal Platinum Glove Bobble Giveaway, April 7th to 9th. All 6 games are Mariners value games, which means you can score seats starting at just $10. Get your tickets today at mariners.com.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Scanning the airwaves for the most interesting and entertaining stories of the day. Sweeping the dial. Every afternoon at 4:45 with Wyman and Bob.
Presented by Silver Reef Casino Resort.
Well, I had no idea that one of us was also a part-time baseball analyst. But lo and behold, during the Root Sports broadcast yesterday, in the 6th inning, they got a helpful contribution from Dave Wyman, baseball historian.
By the way, Aaron, we're talking about the origin of the Walter nickname. This is coming from Dave Wyman. Apparently, Tom Murphy was the originator of Walter.
Are you confident in your source?
50-50.
That seems high.
I think he's probably just throwing a name out there. I'm like, oh yeah, that's solid. I'll run with that. Might be incorrect.
Nobody knows Mariners rosters years over year like Wyman.
Like 50-50. Seems high.
Seems high. Damn that Aaron Goldsmith. He's like Newman.
Yeah.
You know, to Seinfeld.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure it was Tom Murphy. But I don't know.
Really remember.
I texted the Bogan because they were like having, you would think Aaron Goldsmith would know. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I know, where beast mode comes from. I mean, if you want to go football, and he's
Marshawn's the one that created that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He absolutely did. So anyway, yeah, you create your own nickname. Sometimes it's a little suspect, but beast mode was good. But anyway, yeah, I was sure it was Tom Murphy, and then I texted Shannon, who I trust much more than those two Bogans.
More than 50-50.
Yeah. And she said something about it was like the Walter part of it, but not the whole thing. Something, I don't know. We'll have to confirm with her. But anyway, yeah, that was very nice. And I was like, no, please don't say my name on the please don't.
Too late.
It was too late.
Yeah.
Sweeping the dial.
Well, I'm fairly confident. I'm almost 100% sure that it was Tom Murphy that told us that. So maybe he wasn't the originator of it, but he definitely told you guys that early on
That
during
he
an
was
interview.
Walter White.
Yeah.
Okay.
That he explained it. So Tom Murphy told us, so you were correct in that part.
All right.
And then who knows? If it's lost to memory, just claim it. So there you go. You were right on that one.
If only we could ask Logan about it
Yeah,
at
that's
some
true.
point, where it came from.
So Jorge Polanco, we obviously talked about his offense. Huge night for him, but then he made that play at third as well. And afterwards, he was asked how he felt defensively after one game under his belt.
I'm feeling comfortable right now. It was hit hard, and I it was good. I just feel comfortable. I feel like I can play really good third baseman.
Yeah, I hope he's right. I hope he's right. I mean, he made a couple of plays. Again, the throw he had to first had some arc to it.
That one worried you.
Little lollipop to it, so we'll see. Yeah. I'm just curious, if he's got to charge a ball and throw. That's, we had Ryan Divish on earlier, and he was talking about Seager not having a cannon arm. I thought Seager had a decent arm, but what he was good at was charging a ball and throwing it off 1 foot, right?
Yeah.
Coming in, picking it up, often barehanded, firing it to first, and having enough steam on it. I'm curious to see that play from Polanco.
You know who looked good in that regard was Ryan Bliss. Bliss looked very smooth, very confident.
Yeah, he made some nice plays out there.
Yeah, made some nice plays, but we'll see what we're going to get out of Jorge. But at the plate, man, it's been good.
Sweeping the dial.
I think we talked about the one moment that was a little scary during Logan Gilbert's outing. A pitch came right back to him in the third inning, 111-mile-an-hour line drive off the bat of Lawrence Butler, and afterwards Gilbert was asked how he felt after that direct hit.
It definitely squared me up pretty good. Honestly, it was probably the best place it could have hit because he smoked that ball and I wasn't getting out of the way in time, so it's all right. It left a little bruise, but we got him out, so I'll take it.
Tough guy.
A guy named Butler.
Yeah. You're all about the puns today.
Yeah, there's another good dad joke for you.
That so proud of himself.
Couldn't be a better spot to get hit, right? I mean, it's going to be annoying. It's going to be hard to sit down probably for a while, but yeah, somebody was saying something like, it's too bad he didn't have the big dumper. The big dumper wouldn't even have felt it.
Cal would have been out there going, is there a fly in here? What the heck was that?
No, that honestly though, did that not make you sick to your stomach for a second there?
Well, I didn't. As I was saying, we were up in the suite watching, and I at that particular moment I didn't see. I heard and then I saw the replay of it, and then I saw on the board out here that Bizzardo was warming up. I was like, oh no. Then that's when I got worried initially because he, to his credit, Logan's credit, he got hit, immediately looked around, where's the ball, charges the ball, fires to first, gets the out. And I thought, okay, he's okay. And then when I saw the board light up out here, that now warming up in the bullpen is Bizzardo, I went, oh no. Man. So that's when I started getting a little anxious about the situation out there. But good on him. He's a tough dude. He's a tough guy, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, that was just such a great night for him, and great to have a situation where the team offensively came through for him. That more importantly, because I was starting to feel that way that, man, he goes out there, gives up 2 hits, gives you 7 innings, 8 strikeouts, no walks. and he's going to lose. Now, he got a no decision. He didn't get the win, but I was like, are they really going to lose that game right out of the gate? And that's just going to fuel those that are like, see, I told you.
Well, and especially in that fashion, I mean, how many times have we seen that? Maybe we're blowing that number up a little bit, but it just seemed like that happened a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, it happened a lot in that, how many times did we look at box scores after games and go, all right, let's see, runners in scoring position, they were 2 for 12.
Right.
Left on base, they had 9. Those numbers were very common. If you looked at the box scores from last year, and what they did with runners in scoring position often was really hard to read when they'd lose a game by a run, and you'd see that they were, 2 for 13 or whatever with
Right.
run. It was just
Then you scroll down to the pitching, and it's just brilliant.
Yeah.
And it's entirely wasted. So, yeah, it's funny. I didn't get that feeling. I don't know. Maybe I just was being overly optimistic, whatever. But, yeah, they came through, and, they're at one point, I think Goldie yelled out, "Chaos ball!" early on. It was kind of cool. That was, I think that was when Bliss got thrown out at the plate. But anyway, yeah, it was. So you think that was a vet move by him, by Bliss, going, because you go head first, you can, break a finger, screw up your elbow.
Yeah, they
all
tell
kinds
you
of
not
stuff.
to do that. They'd prefer you don't do that.
Yeah.
He was being waved in. He had just a little hesitation where he was running, kind of just a hot second he paused, and you're like, now does that change the slide at all? Does the foot get down if he's in there? I don't know, but he beat the throw. Problem was his foot just came up before it touched the plate, so I don't know if it makes a world of difference there. Meanwhile, it's your last chance to get mean text in at 866-979-3776, powered by Mac & Jack's Brewing Company. That is coming your way, and we're going to get you ready for Game 2 of this 4-game series in which Dave predicted the Mariners would be 3-0 in the 4-game series, which was a good one yesterday.
I like that one, too.
So we'll get you ready for all of that as we continue live from Edgar's Cantina at T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports on 710.
The John Schneider Show.
With Wyman and Bob.
Brought to you by Pizza Hut.
When you guys bring in free agents, then they leave and you don't sign them, probably unique to each one. But is it just something you learn in that conversation and you go, okay.
Yeah, a lot of different reasons. It could be medical, it could be personality, financial, how they're going to be a fit in the building, how much they love football, what kind of worker are they. There's a whole interview process that I don't want to give out, actually.
Hear the rest of this interview on demand at seattlesports.com and on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Attention tax accountants. The following message is for you. Tax season is here, and if you're an accounting firm, the pressure is on. Long hours and tight deadlines make this time of year a challenge for even the most seasoned tax professionals. But this tax season, Blue Jay has your back. Powered by generative AI, Blue Jay is the preferred partner solution of CPA.com for tax research. Ask a complex tax question, and Blue Jay gives you better tax answers in seconds. Save time, maximize your clients' refunds with high-speed, accurate, and intuitive AI technology. Built with a library of only the most trusted tax resources, updated daily to keep up with changes in tax. For a limited time, save 40% off at bluejay.com/start now. That's BLUE, the letter J.com/start now. Or text BLUE to 511-511. Save 40% by texting BLUE to 511-511. Tax accountants don't leave money on the table. Stress less and text BLUE to 511-511 today. Tax fees may apply.
Window Nation customers have been singing our praises for years. With fast local service and an industry-leading 96% customer satisfaction rating, it's no wonder.
I researched window companies for the last year to see what the average prices were and the quality of work. Window Nation nailed both.
Get 2 windows free with every 2 you buy. Pay no interest for 2 full years. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Schedule a free estimate now. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. That's 866-90-NATION.
Today,
a 19-year-old girl was kidnapped. I'm gonna bring her home.
Jason Statham is a working man.
Where's the girl? You a cop? You wish I was a cop.
From the director of The Beekeeper.
This is human trafficking.
You do this, you better go full on.
Is that a grenade?
Yep.
You ain't a cop. You're a working man.
That's right. Time to get to work.
A working man. Rated R. Under 17. Not admitted without parent. Now playing only in theaters.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
Say, partner, what happens when you combine Truck Month with the March sales event at the West Hills Autoplex?
Oh boy, gift card with test drive, complimentary basketballs, free throw for savings, deals on trucks, Ford trucks, Chevy trucks, Ram, GMC, new trucks, used trucks, trucks and trucks and trucks and trucks.
Celebrate Truck Month and the March sales event at the West Hills Autoplex this weekend, part of the Hazelwood Auto Group.
Hazelwood has it!
Trucks and trucks and trucks.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Welcome to Staples.
I hear Staples prints it all for any business?
You bet, and we'll beat any print quote.
So if I had a pizza place...
Staples can print signs, menus, pizza boxes.
A landscaping business?
Oh, we can print yard signs, t-shirts, brochures.
How about a pizza/landscaping business? I'll call it Dough and Mo.
I like it.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5, exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
Febreze. It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then... you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now, all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Well, the Baltimore Ravens have locked up John Harbaugh on a 3-year contract extension. This maintains continuity for one of the most stable franchises in the NFL. The new deal keeps Harbaugh under contract with the team through the 2028 season. He's entering the final year of a contract that he signed back in March of 2022. The Ravens have never let him start a regular season on the final year of his deal since he was hired all the way back in 2008. So congrats to him. Meanwhile, Deion Sanders has signed a 5-year, $54 million contract extension that runs through the 2029 season, making him one of the highest paid coaches in the country, according to ESPN.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
We continue live from Edgar's Cantina here at T-Mobile Park as the Mariners get set to take on the A's in Game 2 of the 4-game series. See Luis Castillo on the hill for the team coming up tonight in Game 2, and hopefully we get something similar to last night. Maybe, how about some early offense? That'd be fun, too. They could go that route. I wouldn't mind, Dave.
Yeah, I think everybody was thinking that same thing, that you're just getting an absolute gem out of Logan Gilbert and no offensive support. But it all worked out in the end. So, yeah.
A little different lineup tonight. You've got Robles, Rodriguez, Raleigh, your top three, but Cal is already DHing, so getting a night off from catching in game 2. He was dealing with some food poisoning earlier in the week, so I'm wondering if maybe he's not completely back to where he wants to be physically, so maybe taking some of the burden off him early. But he'll DH tonight. Arozarena, Garver will be catching, obviously, since Cal is the DH. Polanco, Solano playing first base tonight. Donnie Barrels.
Nice.
Dylan Moore, your guy, at second base. And then J.P. Crawford at shortstop. So that's your lineup tonight.
Yeah, kind of interesting that they're shifting it around that much this early on. But, yeah, I'm really excited to see Donnie Barrels, just because I remember.
Are you excited?
I am excited, and because Perry Hill was really excited. I don't know who told us that, but Perry Hill, the wizard of the infield, he was really happy that they signed him during the offseason. So, yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see. He's an older guy, but
37, I believe.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty old for
baseball
Major League
player.
Baseball. Yeah, so lots of experience. That's what that means. But no, I'll be interested to see how he moves around the field.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be our first look at him. That was the only thing about spring training is we didn't get to see a lot of the action out there. The games were happening while we were on the air, so we were able to see 2 games. But in those 2 games, the things I really wanted to see, I didn't. Polanco at third base, didn't see that. Didn't see Tellez at first base, and I don't think I saw Solano play at all. So
I don't think I did either.
So it was, some of the things we were just sort of, wanting to check off on the list, so to speak, was not happening while we're there. So we'll find out while we're here. But it's going to be interesting to see Luis come out, and you wonder if, as gracious as he was, if maybe there's a little, certainly not mad or anything like that, but just something to show, hey man, I love Logan and I'm happy for it. Couldn't be happier, but I'm going to show you I'm still the Rock.
Well, that's the thing. We talked to Ryan Dempster, who that was during spring training. And, he's a pitcher for 16 years in Major League Baseball. And he's like, hey, everybody wants to be the opening day starter. Make no mistake about it. So it's not like, Castillo was like, oh, okay, why don't you go ahead and do it? I mean, he's a competitor. These guys are ferocious. So, yeah, I think that's a good thing to look for. Like, is he gonna go out there and kind of show everybody, hey, I could easily be the number one on a lot of other teams.
Well, and the other thing we've talked about with this rotation, and they've talked about it as well. And it didn't quite. I was keeping an eye on you.
Okay,
Dave.
thanks.
This one went to the wall.
I trust your eyes.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't trust other people. A lot of people will panic.
Yeah. And sometimes Lefko doesn't even pay attention, so he's not helping us at all. But
Lefko's hoping I get hit.
I trust the netting. Well, unless they throw one right over the netting.
If there's one headed for the back, or for the back of my head,
back of the melon,
he's going to look at you and go, "Shh! Don't tell him."
Yeah, that'll be Matt over there going, "Don't you dare tell him. Let it happen. Just let it happen." But no, I mean the competitive nature amongst themselves. They've talked about that in a good way. Obviously, they want each guy to go out there and just dominate. But I think the fact that Logan went out there and did what he did last night, there's going to be that competitive juice in Luis going, okay, let me see if I can match that. Let me see if I can exceed that. So each one building on that. I mean, if Luis goes out there and does what he does, and then the next guy and the next, it's just how they function in a good, positive way.
Right, and I think Castillo kind of, takes it on the lips a little bit just because he doesn't get talked about that much because he's a veteran and, they signed him free agent. He's not homegrown, and then, he's not young. I mean, it's really cool to sit around and talk about, with Miller and Wu and Logan and George Kirby, that these are the young guys that they drafted and developed, and they're kind of underdogs. They're not proven. Castillo is proven in this league, but we kind of, I don't know, I feel like he's discounted a little bit. Maybe that he gets a sense for that. I don't know, but as far as the whole thing of being an opening day starter, I think you're right. I think he's going to have a little edge.
Yeah, and I think you're right in that he doesn't get talked about as much. He's more established. You kind of just know what he does and who he is out there, what to expect.
Kind of take him for granted.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, he was, even as we talk about last year, as little bit of a step back year. He was still very good last year.
Yeah.
But he is older. He's a guy that you don't look at as much as your future, as much as those guys, the 4 young guys, right? And we'll see how long, if they go through all their years of arbitration, if they're able to sign a couple of them, lock them up, or one gets traded, who knows? But you look at those 4 as this bright, young future, where he doesn't fall into the young future portion of that conversation. He's still got a couple years left, but you're looking at those guys to drive the cart for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see him. And the one that, Mike has the list here, we're going to have Dylan Moore playing at second base, Solano at first, Garver catching, first of all, he's a great catcher, and, George Kirby loved having him, being paired up with him, but that's a guy that I guess I'm not saying I wrote him off or anything like that. It's just that I didn't necessarily expect he would have a bounce back. We had all these different options of, can Polanco stay healthy, and can he play third base? The same thing with Dylan Moore. Can he be an everyday second baseman? The whole list went on and on and on. And the one, that I was kind of a little skeptical on was Garver. So,
well, and that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, because you look at, some of it was the theory of every other year, and so he had a really rough year. That's not a very good.
This is supposed to be the good one.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
That's not a good. I don't know if that's a strategy he's put into play. So, you know what? I'm going to stink it up this year, but next year, I'm going to be a house of fire.
Yeah, so that's one that I think is going to be really interesting, and I think he's a very capable catcher. Does a great job with the staff, all of that, but. Just the hitting just wasn't there, and he was kind of a tragic character last year. I mean, he got all kinds of blowback for the lack of performance and everything. But yeah, and you see some of the years when he is Mitch Garver, man. I mean, that he alone, if everybody else just played pretty much like they did last year, I feel like he alone could have taken care of. Probably won him a couple more games.
Oh, yeah. You think about all the times any of these guys that we talked about that struggled when they came up in crucial situations with runners in scoring position and didn't come through, right? That's that one AB right there is the difference in a game. So, and they certainly weren't the only ones to not come through in those situations, but their years just in totality were so far down from what you expected. When you miss by one game, you've got a million examples of where you could have made a difference with this one at bat.
Yeah.
With this one moment. And, it just happened way too often. And, you talk about him being a tragic figure last year. You do feel bad for him. I mean, I get the other side of being a fan. I'm a guy that'll be in front of the TV going, what are you doing? What are you swinging at? I'm that guy too. But then you start hearing about some of what they go through and what they're receiving from fans. And you're like, oh, yeah. That's gross. That's, ridiculous. Threats and all that.
And then you end up being more on his side and want to support him and really want to see him have success.
Yeah, that's why I was glad to see what was happening in spring training with him. And we'll see with him. Does that mean anything? Does it carry over? I've got to believe it helped his confidence a bit, because he's a guy we talked to out there, and he made a concerted effort to get bigger for whatever it may. I don't know if he felt like I need to be stronger, but he told us he put on 15 to 20 pounds of muscle in the offseason, which is a lot.
And you could see it.
He's put together. He's a big dude. I don't know if it made him feel better at the plate. Maybe he felt like, did it help your speed of your swing? I don't know. I don't know what he feels like he gained from it, but if he had a nice spring, so maybe he comes in with a level of confidence he otherwise wouldn't have. I'll be pulling for him, I'll tell you that.
Well, and he is, his wife's a vet, and he's just easy to root for. But we'll see. I think he's probably the one that's most deserving. But I always thought that baseball players had to be careful with what kind of lifting that they do. Does it affect their swing or whatever? Did get a chance to ask Garver that, but from what I've gleaned from most of the players is that you can just go and just do normal workouts.
Yeah, it's probably unique to each guy. I mean, Dylan Moore looks like he put on some muscle, and I'll just say in spring, his bat didn't look that quick. I don't know if that had anything to do with the muscle he may have put on or not. It could be completely unrelated. It just looked like he was a little behind. He didn't have a great spring. Again, may mean nothing. He'd come out here and rake tonight. we'll find out. But yeah, I'm sure it's different for every player. By the way, Mariners, of course, hosting the A's in Game 2 of the 4-game series, Dave. It's 4 games. And the T-Mobile Park roof will be, I'm going to say closed. It's currently closed, although the sun is shining outside.
Yeah, we're getting a little sun here.
It's not warm, but
it's not helping.
It's not bringing any heat into the situation here, but it is sunny outside right now. So I don't know. I'm going to say it's going to stay closed. What do you think, Lefko?
You know what I'm realizing?
Weatherman.
Kind of an unintentional problem. These Arozarena hoodies, they almost look like A's colors at first. Yeah. I'm like, why are all these A's fans here? I'm like, yeah, okay. They're just the hoodies.
Yeah. These are these are more highlighter yellow.
Highlighter.
The A's are kind of got a gold tint to what they're wearing. Do you feel like we were being bombarded by A's fans?
Yeah, at first. They all came storming in. I was like, all these A's fans here. Just wait till the Hello Kitty Cat hats come out tomorrow.
What's our response that we're getting, me and Bob, with our tough guy look?
I think you're a rap group. Probably the least intimidating rap group ever.
Rappers.
Yeah. Is that what they said?
Yeah.
it's our Rosarena cross-arm pose. That's what we were doing. Yeah. Trying to, emulate the man who's
we
being
got, from
tonight.
an old friend, we got Hello Kitty Boys with a Z.
Boys. Yeah. It's a good look. I thought it was natural. Pulled it off well. Looked like something we'd wear.
Well, you know what? The texters, I'm surprised because I gave them lots and lots of ammunition. I had that math error a couple days ago where I was off by like $30 million. And I'm not seeing much there. I said that Oregon State plays in Beaverton, and it's actually Corvallis.
Corvallis, yeah.
Yeah. And so you know who of course corrected me on that?
Jen in Beaverton.
Jen from Beaverton.
Yeah.
There we go.
What did she say? I just assumed it would be her.
No, a lot of people
she
corrected
scolded you.
If you want to feel better. A lot of people corrected you.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Yeah, a lot of Beaver fans out there. But I'm just not seeing a lot of the vitriol that I thought we would see based on some of the mistakes that I made.
Lefko, have they fallen short? Have you gone back to
some good ones?
Is there some good ones?
There's some good ones. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Okay.
Good mix, not maybe as much as you would have liked making fun of me, Dave, but I think less about you, which is good.
That's because we haven't had Matt text in yet.
It's true. It's interesting because when you weren't here last Friday, somehow you still got the majority of the mean text.
That's not right.
It must have been the material you gave him.
I think it was in the hopes that you were driving to wherever you're going and you would be listening and catch it while you were on the road.
Oh, my gosh. You think I'd listen to you two guys? Are you crazy?
It was more about listening to what others were saying about you. It was a vanity thing.
No, I tried to redirect everything towards Lefko, and it backfired on me.
It failed?
I'm getting a lot of heat here.
Well, you keep reminding them of your faux pas, so they're going to go, oh, yeah, that's right, you screwed up that math problem.
Yeah,
and
I know. I can't help myself.
You said Beaverton.
Yeah, I did. I said Beaverton. Let's see. Here we go. Are we starting main text, or shall we?
Shall we get into it?
Yeah, we need a call for it.
Here we go.
Okay.
It's going to flatten the thing out.
What if I get hit in the head and I never make another math error or misspeak
He's a
ever
genius.
again?
Knock the sense of
I would go in for that.
Dave would be calling us each night going, I think we should do a physics segment. I've been calculating some sports.com. Just click the podcast tab. Click on our picture. It'll be right there waiting for you. Have a great weekend, everybody. Talk to you on Monday with Wyman and Bob.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk. Weekdays 6 to 10.
What Randy brings is this kind of edginess that is pretty rare in baseball, to see it combined with kind of a look-at-me showmanship. I don't say that in a negative way, for someone to make themselves a spectacle like that, especially when they're as quiet as they are, till he does something awesome and then he turns into Dennis Rodman. Like, I love it.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Washington State has the third highest cost of living in the nation. If Olympia politicians raise taxes again, the cost of everything from groceries and gas to housing will go up even more. They've already doubled spending over 10 years, with little to show for it. Washington State needs lower costs, not higher taxes. Demand smarter state spending now at affordablewashington.org. Paid for by people for an affordable Washington and Olympia, Washington. Top 5 donors are Washington Alliance for a Competitive Economy, Microsoft, Madrona, T-Mobile, and Alaska Air.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ourrealsuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in Seattle?
we're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in Seattle for free. That's right, we'll give you 2 free tickets when you text FLIP to 64,000. Seattle is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Discover the simple steps developed by Joe Arias, one of real estate's greatest rags to riches stories. You'll learn to flip properties and secure rental properties without using your own money and in your spare time. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop next week right here in Seattle and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text FLIP to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text FLIP to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text FLIP to 64,000.
Everyone wants to get the best deal they can when they buy a car. But what about when you want to sell your car? Of course, you want to get the most money possible, but how do you get the most you can without trying to sell it yourself? Well, that's where my friends at Wayscar Ford in Auburn step in. Not only will they buy your car today, but that's just the beginning. Once they resell your old car, they send you another check for 50% of the profit of the sale of your old car. They've already given back over $750,000 to their customers. Mark, GM of Wayscar Ford, joins me, and it's such a great offer, but to clear up any confusion, is this like a consignment, and how can you offer this?
It's not a consignment, Stacy. In a consignment, the dealer that's trying to sell your car hasn't paid you yet. We pay you right up front. No more insurance, no more maintenance, all that's gone. After that's done, we pay half the profit. It's that simple. There's no magic to this. All the money we're saving by not buying at auctions, the shipping fees and the travel, we're giving it back to you. That's how it works.
So get the most money possible at Wayscar Ford Isuzu in Auburn and let them do the work.
Who's cutting down the nets this year? Get in on all the tournament action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest upsets to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Something amazing is happening at work. Innovative tools are helping people do better work. That's because CDW configuration specialists are multiplying productivity with Microsoft Windows 11 Pro Surface devices. Built-in security, flexibility, and simplified management streamline tasks so your team can get more done. Microsoft and CDW make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/surface.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
Who's cutting down the nets this year? Get in on all the tournament action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest upsets to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Something amazing is happening at work. Innovative tools are helping people do better work. That's because CDW configuration specialists are multiplying productivity with Microsoft Windows 11 Pro Surface devices. Built-in security, flexibility, and simplified management streamline tasks so your team can get more done. Microsoft and CDW make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/surface.
So, how's your research going?
Surprising! After I figured out the top-rated TVs in our price range, I went shopping for deals.
And who's the best?
It wasn't the internet, and it wasn't the warehouse club.
But?
It was video only. They had better deals on the Samsung, LG, and the Sony TVs that got the highest scores.
Better than online and at the club?
I know! Video only beat them all. And now we can afford an even better model for the same price. My research really paid off.
If we buy it video only.
Exactly. Otherwise, we'll be sorry.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find
This is Mariners Baseball on Seattle Sports.
Take every game with you on the go by downloading the Seattle Sports app.
710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma.